Welcome to Brawlhalla.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bearded Brawls West Coast Brawl. I say welcome back, but I should be saying welcome. We're here with Top 8. My name is PJ the Puff. I'm joined by my good friend, Dad Sitter. Dad Sitter, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. It's a beautiful Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait for some Brawlhalla. I can't wait for some. I was just looking at the bracket. It looks like we've got some strong players.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, right? Because West Coast, I think, is one of the regions that is somewhat underrepresented in Brawlhalla. We see a lot of the talent coming in from the East Coast, including Canada. And then, of course, we have the other international regions like South America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. But West Coast, I feel like we don't talk about a lot. So it's going to be great to highlight this here. Once again, we are a Brawlhalla-sponsored community event. Big shout-outs to BMG and Brawlhalla for providing the prize pool and all the money to make sure this show happens. Shout-out to Slow Motion and all the wonderful people behind the scenes making this happen. This is our second time commentating together. I'm really excited. I'm excited. Top 8s are always going to be great. We get the top, tippy-top level play. Who do we got first up on stream, hey? Or Dad Sitter?
Who do we have first up on stream is a great question.
Yeah. We have Wubs and Sleeping on stream. A little quirk in the graphic. Double E letters get extended, so it's Sleeping, which is technically how you spell or pronounce sleeping anyway, so it works out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody's confused over Sleeping. Also in the stream title, I believe. Sleeping, a player that I'm not in touch with the players, so don't take this the wrong way, Sleeping, but I don't know who Sleeping is, and I'm excited to see that Sleeping has some actually really strong wins, and I'm going to get to see a new person play Brawlhalla well tonight, and I like that. Yeah,
so a little bit of context. Wubs is a number 26 PR in North America, a Cassidy main through and through, versus Sleeping, who is number 264 PR in North America. Did place in that top 64 at Trial of Boulder, ran by Moose Wars. 49th place. DreamHack San Diego almost getting 64th, getting 65th. And then Wubs 17th at Trial of Scotty, 25th at Boulder, 25th at Frick, 33 at Ymir. So Wubs is coming in with a lot of experience, a lot of practice. I think that's probably the most important thing right now as we get into the end of the winter circuit, into the summer of Brawlhalla. We're going to be getting a lot of really great players, and I think events like this are a great way to hone your mettle versus some of the best. And I think right now, Sleeping, not seeded anywhere to make top 8, making it here from the winner side is definitely going to, I think, cause some problems for Wubs. I never want to count any underdog out because we are playing Brawlhalla. I feel like this is such a game of underdogs. I'm very excited for this match.
Is this an apocalypse right here? What do you think?
Man, it usually does feel like it.
It could be Demon Island. It could be anywhere. Oh.
Nope.
Oh. Not either of those. Wait, what happened?
I think they banned out of order, so they ended up banning more correctly, and now going to be going to Western Air Temple, so the higher soft platforms that vary in height are definitely going to help out, I think, Terros on the axe, as well as Cassidy on the hammer. So it should be a pretty even stage, I think, for both Terros and Cassidy. As we kick off Bearded Brawl, West Coast Brawl top 8, we are here with Wubs versus Sleeping. Let's get into this one.
Terros with the first weapon. No weapon guard. Okay, we've got an even game. We're taking our time. We're playing footsies.
I mean,
as you'd expect with these two weapons, these two characters, really just finding a footing is important. Feeling out your opponent.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think, fitting. You're seeing Cassidy on the hammer. Most people are playing Cassidy for the hammer, and I think Taros is a good combination of two. And right now, you see the chase dodge up, goes for the nair, doesn't find it. Actually,
able
able
to
get
early knock.
Yeah, getting the side air to punish. Right now, it's pretty in damage. I know it's not technically even, but I feel like Taros just needs 1 or 2 hits, and you're back.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Cassidy a little bit. If we got the early KO, it would look different. So it's going to come down to small interactions like that. Can we find what we need to find to take Taros' stocks? If not, we're going to be eating damage here on the Cassidy. And
Yeah, I mean, right
getting
now,
a foothold on the stage. We're hammer in hand again. That's important to the game plan.
Yeah. But hold on to that. Nice weapon toss there.
Oh, I like that
mean,
movement.
As Taros, you're just trying to wait. I mean, eventually something is going to KO. So, like you said, utilizing that movement, not going for anything too risky, because as soon as you do, Cassidy on the hammer is going to reversal you. That dare is a lot of damage, and now it's pretty even. One downlight separates, but a side sig from out of nowhere gets punished with that downlight. I can't believe we saw that from Wubs. Right now, Sleeping, big underdog, has the lead over Wubs right now.
Sleeping playing super consistent right now. Just finding all of these small punishes, taking the 1-2s. See if we can find any extra credit on the Taros.
You see that weapon toss up there, knowing that the weapon's going to spawn on the soft plat. And as you were saying, extra credit on Taros. Just 1 or 2 hits is all you really need. I mean, you only have to win so many interactions.
That's a stock. Okay. Pretty much an even game. I know we have the axe prepped for the Taros, and now we have an extra hammer on the Cassidy. But no, hammer! I could have swore I saw them throw out the hammer. I guess I'm not paying attention. But we know the Cassidy has another hammer. And the movement, they're together! They're walking!
Holding hands, they're not trying to get any, no violence right now, I guess, because I feel like once these players just get that one big hit, it does so much damage. Just that extension there gets punished accordingly with that side air. And I mean, right now you are going on the offensive as Sleeping, which is kind of out of pocket. I feel like we weren't really seeing this from Sleeping in the first stock, and Wup's kind of getting outpaced right now. The damage is slowly building, and like I keep saying, and we'll keep saying till the end of time, Taros only needs 1 more hit. That dare is going to KO on Western Air Temple, and all of a sudden the underdog is up again in a bigger way than they were in the last stock.
This is looking decisive. I think perhaps in game 2, well, okay, let's not talk about that yet. Very much still a match here.
Yeah.
But man, Taros is really just effectively holding space right now.
Yeah, you can't really find anything, even in the hammer mirror. That's where you're going to have to make your money as Wups, because you're playing Cassidy for the hammer. It's just not working. That's a nice end stick there, but I mean, many of those are going to be needed in order to take this game. Another side stick whiff from Wups, kind of pulling the trigger a little bit too happy on that. Of course, no pun intended with Cassidy, but I mean, right now you're just holding it to the stage, hoping to find it there. Yeah, nice dodge. That end stick, dude, it's just such a consistent way to get those anti-airs for Cassidy. That's kind of a zone where Hammer will struggle to hit, especially grounded, and that's just perfect. Okay, whoops. I mean, yeah, highest seeded so far. I think that's still left in the bracket for this tournament. You know, no matter how much of a deficit you have, you can never count out that Cassidy hammer. Nice walk up there, gets the downlight stacked, and is able to get a conversion.
Past the neutral sig.
Very important to stack there. Okay. I mean, it's so movement heavy because it's the hammer move. Yeah, it's very much so.
A lot of space.
Nice catch.
Maybe as Cassidy here next time you're looking for a smaller stage. Every one of these little interactions could be a game. It could be the turning point.
Ooh. That instinct barely whiffing there. The side light comes in and knocks Cassidy back off stage. It's so close right now. They're just dash jumping in center, trying to find something, but there it is. That's the downlight anti-air. Using the soft platform and occupy such a big space in the center of the stage is going to lock down that stock for Sleeping, who, like I keep saying, is not projected to be here. Definitely the big upset factor of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken, sleeping seed number 85, guaranteed 5th place, and right now 1-0 over Wubs, who, if I am not mistaken, is the 1 seed of the tournament. This is a upset factor of 5. Like, this is a 5. That means that there's 5 stages of seeding before they were supposed to meet, and we're right back on Western Anthem. I don't feel good about this one.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think perhaps Wubs knows what they're capable of and just has to find their, you know, lock in, find their footing. I think that's important. Yeah. And so far, I'm not unconvinced. Maybe there was some sort of mental change. I mean, that was convincing. Blaster's gone, not needed.
Yeah, I mean,
foregoing the weapon, taking damage for it. But now we're on the Hammer Ditto. This is where Teros was finding success last time in the side sig. We never saw that before.
Okay, goes for the dare there, unarmed, gets reversal, the classic hammer. Goes for another dare. You got just get back on stage. Just get back on stage, please. Okay, 2 exclamation points. Like you gotta let it go. That was in your stock to take. You have weapons online. Teros does so much damage. You don't need to take those risks to even it up. It's classic overextension there. Doesn't get punished with the KO, but
down,
this is rough.
Trying to catch it again,
Wubs isn't giving it to him.
It's a lot of down sig usage here. Wow, and this game looking like last game, but reversed.
Ooh, taps it in, gets the gravity cancel downlight into the ground pound, unarmed. Yeah, it's not too bad. All of a sudden.
A whole stock of extra credit. That helps.
Yeah, but like...
Blasters have got to go.
It's yeah, not today, you know. Maybe a different meta. We'll be seeing some Cassidy blasters, but not today. Ooh. And not versus the Teros. That side sig almost KO'd. That insane force gets the end sig and it hits the spike hitbox. I was saying it's not so bad for the Teros because being one stock down means nothing when 3 hits is all it takes. You blink and you miss it, and now somehow Sleeping has a lead. Oh my goodness.
I'm expecting to see more Teros neutral acts. I'm surprised that it hasn't been used yet. Maybe it's game 4, game 5 situation for that. Or is it best of 3?
No, this is best of 5.
Okay, yeah, game 4, game 5. Pull out the Teros neutral axe if we need it.
You saw that there. That was smart baiting out the dodge. Didn't find the punish on it. That was a downlight, not a sidelight angle, but as of right now, it's looking pretty solid for Sleeping, who controls the space. The thing is, when you have all that grounded space to work with as Teros, even if you're getting reversal, you're still usually in a better spot. Right here, the box dodge comes out, goes to line up a downer, doesn't find it, switches back to the hammer, avoids that end sig. The exclamation points are coming online. All you need to do is tap it in. Wubs with sweat beads. Can they make it back to the stage? They can. The downlight doesn't connect. That was so big. We're back on.
That could have absolutely been KO.
Dude, I don't know about throwing the blasters when you have no weapon. I guess all you need is the hammer for Wubs. And what a punish! Oh, he misses the gravity cancel downlight. It all went awry, and that is another game for Sleeping. 85 seed in the tournament, taking it 2-0 right now versus the number 1 seed. I cannot believe it.
And we're going right back too. Maybe not.
Man. I don't know. I don't know if
it's broken. Yeah, we're going right back.
0 damage on the blasters. 39 unarmed.
0 moves used with the blasters.
Yeah, true. Like
the blasters did more damage being thrown.
3,
it's
2,
crazy. Like
1,
just fully committing to the hammer playstyle on Cassidy, which is such an interesting choice versus Teros. And right now, Sleeping, looking to continue the Dream Run. We've been seeing Dream Runs all weekend long at all the Tier 1 events. And we might be seeing one right now. It's seed 85 of the tournament, but Wubs ain't going down with a fight. Look at how much damage that was.
Very little. For what you'd like to see. Same string with Teros.
They're gone. That's your
noticeably
shock.
Different color, yeah.
Yeah. Cassidy High. It's very interestingly spec stats for a Hammer Legend, especially Wubs, who's only playing Hammer on Cassidy. right now, I mean, it's just it literally leads don't mean anything versus Terros. Like, you can only convince me you have a lead when you win the game. So moments like this.
I'm loving the movement though. I think that this is where Wubs is finding their flow. Ooh! Blaster's moves! Blaster's usage up! With a 16 damage?
Yeah, that's 16 more than the entire set beforehand, so that's some big stuff for
That's
Wubs.
the difference.
I mean, it might be. I feel like you got to use the blasters more. Like, I know you want the downlight on the hammer. I know you want the high dex hammer, but like blasters ain't bad versus Terros. I don't feel like.
Ooh, that find was excellent. Call out on the movement. I mean, I think that's what Wubs' hammer game plan has been almost the entire set so far. Call out the movement and keep the pressure high.
Oh, jeez, man.
What a find on the fastball. Okay, dodge in place.
Picks up the axe, should be able to tap this one in. Goes for the dash jump downer, and I hate when people do that because Wub's now in a bad spot, but able to touch the wall, and sweat beads will start coming out for Wubs, who doesn't actually find those because you're able to just get that chase dodge, and I mean, that's a big drop for sleeping. I feel like that could have been, you know, the evening factor, but it might be another 3-stock lead angle for Wubs here if you can find this one. Because right now, sleeping can't get a hit. That sider whiffs, gets hit with the downlight into the side air, and oof, it's just fighting with the unarmed.
We're still just fighting. Oh, come on. Let's hope that was a misinput. The disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Wub's getting a KO with the blasters. That's exciting.
That's one for the stat lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, avoids that one. The down air doesn't scoop. The triple exclamation points come up, but Wub's able to make it back. There's no punish right now for sleeping, who, I mean, this is looking real bad. I don't know if you can get back into this one. And okay,
patience from Terros.
That was crazy.
I would have swung at every single one of those jumps.
Yeah. Okay. Downlight into
Ooh,
the
call out on the
light,
dodge. Looking like 2018 with the blaster strings.
Woo! You might have been able to find that end sig there. That's super solid as a good anti-air option.
The hammer. That's correct.
Nice damage there into the ground pound. And like I said, it doesn't really mean anything if you can't put away the Terros, because right now Wub's slowly building a case. You just need this one more hit.
This is a definitely Terror angle for sure.
Okay, the weapon gets knocked off there. Tries to scoop with the down air. That might have been able to KO. I'm not too sure.
Looking close to the unarmed recovery situation here. We go for the Nair?
Yeah, downlight recovery definitely KOs there. But hey, wanted another blaster stat. That's a side air for you, hey. Wubs is like, you know what, casters, I'll get some blaster damage just for you. That's gonna be 8.
2 blasters KOs on the first win of the set. I mean, I would say the blasters made the difference. What do you think?
I mean, it was 126 damage you weren't getting if you weren't using them. You know what I mean? Like, those were definitely big there. I just noticed Wubs is actually speccing into the deck stats. So right now, Wubs fully believing in the Cassidy Hammer decks, but
that has something to do with the downlight neutral sig. I don't know if it's either impossible with 8 decks or if it is less tight. You know, you could be more or less stacked depending on if you're 8 or 9 decks there. But I do believe that there's something with the downlight neutral sig.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that? Yeah,
I mean, that's just the classic, like, Cassidy thing, right? I don't know if the 1 decks makes a difference. I know that for some things it definitely does end up being important. Like, I know for Vrax, that downlight into neutral light on Lance is very important to have that extra dex to work with. But I'm not too sure if that's the same with that downlight into
Western Air Pimple out. We've had enough.
I'm happy about that. Small Fortress of Lions, I think, is definitely going to be a better pick. Yeah, much better pick, I think. I feel like the soft platform stages are pretty interesting right now. Obviously, there's 2 triplats or 3 soft platforms, but people don't seem to like it. They like the moving soft platforms, which I think creates some pretty interesting chances. Because a lot of times, like, it's interesting about Brawlhalla is, like, sometimes the soft platform helps the aggressor so much more than the person getting out of disadvantage. But so that, you know, because it's moving back and forth, you're able to actually like play differently. Whereas like with static soft platforms, it kind of makes it more linear. Nonetheless, we're here on Lions, and we're going to be seeing a attempt here to tap
Another
in this
strong
set.
opening for Whoops.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
You see Cassidy on the hammer. Teros on the axe. This is what we are accustomed to with this matchup
The movement
so
is
far.
crazy right now.
Yes.
Moving so well, using that soft platform. It ended up on the right side of the stage, and you're seeing that come out accordingly for Sleeping, who's just dancing around with it right now.
Yeah, I do think this stage is forcing a little bit more interaction than Western Air Temple, and I am not sure who is the beneficiary of that yet.
The Hammer Mirror, once again, Whoops. I mean, having that high dex can afford to throw out moves a little bit more frequently, but right now, I think you're kind of worried about that. Nice dash in, downlight into the Sair. That should be an easy way to set up potentially an edge guard sequence. That's the exclamation point. Burns the dodge, too. This should be an easy tap in. No, doesn't find...
It's all about the patience for the Cassidy. I think that's definitely the right choice. We saw it a lot last game too. It's very important to just give the Teros the funny Teros space and say that is a mistake and I'm punishing it, and say everything else I'm not sure, so I'm going to play far away. Getting better at finding these 1-2-3s is what the Cassidy adapted to last game. I think it's just about finding yourself baited by the Teros' movement less times, and
that's just stop. Ground pound? Or no, just weapon toss. Yeah, and get the unarmed down air. That's a clean KO.
Yeah. Several
was
bonus
super
hits at the end of that.
Okay, the end light
sure.
is raw neutral. Chase dodge is up there. You see the Cassidy. I mean, slowly
Yeah.
kicking into gear right now. I feel like Sleeping, kind of burning and gassing out. Jumps right into the weapon toss. It should be an easy tap in. It should be simple.
Okay. That was a decisive game.
Yeah.
What do you think? I would say that a lot of the movement hijinks from the previous games weren't as powerful and weren't as enabled by this stage. I think that maybe it was a mistake of a counter pick. I'd like to see the Teros pick to a bigger stage again with more movement opportunity. Blasters back to 0 damage. Blasters weren't the difference. Oh, we see a character swap.
Yeah, we're going to be switching over to the Ragnar for Sleeping, which, you know, Qatar's in a great spot right now. Axe seemed to be what the moneymaker was for Sleeping, at least a lot more comfortability. I think the Hammer had its peaks, but a lot of really low lows, couldn't get any hits in the Hammer Mirror. So Ragnar, high defense, you know, basic stats across the board. Should be, you know, a simple way to kind of create some control and maybe some chances on the Qatars. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think Teros maybe a little too spec'd into the damage. Perhaps finding the movement speed helpful in a matchup where last game it really felt like the Teros was getting run down pretty hard, outpaced.
And right now, I mean, pretty solid start for Sleeping, who gets some big damage on the axe.
Yeah, boxing gloves out into the corner, taking center stage strong. Nice.
That's a Cassidy combo with 9 decks, I think. Side light, end light on Hammer. I think that's just true on Cassidy. So it definitely does have its benefits besides that downlight nair, or neutral strike, I should say.
Yeah, I think it makes everything a little bit less tight as well for different like stacking hitbox situations.
Yep.
Cassidy just finding strong pushes into center stage and saying, hey, I'm taking that space, it's mine. And we're really just not seeing any evasive movement or any stuffing power from the Ragnar here. I would say that this is looking like you've got to find out how to stop them from running at you. Just run up side light when you cast.
I feel like Whoops is just like, I think he's over it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you had your time in the limelight. Now it's my time. I'm gonna just win this game. It's over for you. You had no more chances. Like right now, Whoops is playing so lights out. He's literally just running at Sleeping, and Sleeping cannot do anything. I think that's just kind of showing the confidence in this matchup. Every single time Wups has you in the corner, you're getting on the double, triple exclamation points. Nice gravity cancel end sig there to get some space back. But I mean, Wups is just so confident. Look at the posturing too, just like always in his face. Like, I want to fight because I want to win faster, and it's working.
Yeah, this is looking like one player has been in game 5 more than the other. Hey, it's not over.
Definitely not. We're
and I'm really rooting for the underdog here. I think Sleeping was showing some really nice stuff early. I maybe just got shaken up game 3. Barely losing game 3 in a lot of small interactions, and then just really never finding the footing again.
We'll start here, that side air into the dodge right back to the stage. This is where you want to be, that power position in the center of the stage on guitars.
We'd like to see this aggression. I think this is definitely a good change of pace for the Ragnar here.
Yeah.
And you hide in the corner and you get walked at again. Finding a really difficult time avoiding some of these approaches. That is high dex right there.
Yeah.
That neutral light, the hammer neutral light whiffed, and then the side hammer came out before I even saw anything.
Yeah.
That might be part of the strategy there. Just take your time. I like this. Just reset a little bit.
Yeah, it's your game to give away right now, and I think Wups and Sleeping know that, and Sleeping is going to look to create some chances on the guitars right now.
Oh, good catch on the landing.
So much control of this match right now from Wups. Nice snare there, gets a recovery. This is a good start for the guitars. You use that platform very wisely to get something started. Goes for the double D light. It gets punished accordingly, and right now Wups is one hit away, or a mind gimp away, from taking game 5. Wow.
Man, and that's just a great example of how the momentum can shift in a set, and it's sometimes just insurmountable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Wups really came in game 3 and shut down the Teros, and then that's game 4 was like so dominant. You saw, like, I think what happened, maybe Sleeping getting a little bit too cautious off stage, like really heavily respecting Wups when they had the wall to them, and it was just like constant, like burning every resource to try to make it back carefully, and that just allowed Wups to rack on so much extra damage. You see there, it wasn't even a big damage game for Wups. It was just a matter of, like, you took so much. You just gave away so much. Okay, that makes more sense. 329 damage dealt, just like constantly pressuring, and the guitar, the Ragnars, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that last game, I think, was more an example of how it was systematically broken down. I mean, I think you saw a lot of movement from the Cassidy that you didn't see the first game, or the second, or the third. I think that there was a lot of learning from Wups, and I think that is really maybe the top player diff. Or, I think Wups was PR 23 or something like that. I mean, that's the kind of adaptation you'd expect from a player with wins against. I know their wins.
They have
the Dusk. Ah, man.
Java.
Yes, a Java win.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem, I got you.
I mean, Wups is a great player, you can tell, watching that, but you can also tell from the PR position and the previous one-to-one matchups and all sorts of things. Great run from Sleeping.
Yeah, you're not out yet. You're guaranteed 5th place. I mean, I would be happy. I was, seeded 85th. Now I'm guaranteed 5th place. And, obviously going to make that elimination side run. PR number 264 in North America. They got $50 of earnings, though. So that's, that pays for a couple crossovers here and there. And overall, Wups looking pretty solid, looking poised to take the tournament. I mean, it might be a little bit too early to say that, especially with who we have next up. We got Seabass coming up and versus Double Dime. Right now, Double Dime is going through some technical difficulties, so you're all going to be with us here. It's going to be the Dad Sitter and PJ show as we wait to see if Double Dime will make the block. a little bit of stats for you because I'm a big stats nerd. Seabass PR number 40 in North America. Double Dime PR number 106 from British Columbia. Canada. Double Dime actually outplacing at trial of Scotty over Seabass. And then, I mean, overall, they haven't played each other before, but Seabass PR number 40 has been grinding, playing a lot of those tournaments. We see a Balder and a Scotty placement. Same can be said about Double Dime, who is playing in a lot of these NA tournaments. Played all of the events. So we saw Ymir, Frigg, Frostbite 1, Balder, Scotty. So Double Dime is grinding right now. And looking to make it happen. This is a Canadian matchup too, which is exciting. I feel like we always see like one Canadian, one American. Right now, though, it's going to be a very exciting Canadian matchup.
And what do you think? So the PR difference, you would clearly indicate that that would go to Seabass, but then the earnings is interesting. I mean, and then like highest placements and recent placements, maybe goes to Double Dime. So it's curious that. Just PR is never a great sense of power or skill or however you'd like to word it.
Yeah.
And I always find that interesting. I don't even know who the underdog is to root for, per se.
Yeah, I feel like, with PR, it's an amalgamation of a lot of statistics, so it's never like so cut and dry,
Yeah.
And I think, Double Dime has been doing pretty well, has been in the money in the past before, 4th at Bearded Brawls Imperium. I see other, top 8 placements here and there. So not somebody that's not a stranger of the higher placements. Double Dime, 28 top 32 placements at official events, and then 1 top 8 appearance as well at official/community events. So Double Dime's no slouch and not somebody that's going to be easy to beat. Even though you have the PR lead in this season, doesn't really mean much, I don't think.
If history is any indicator, this might be a Raymond versus a Kaya. What do you think of that?
Kaya's an interesting spot. I think a lot of the spear players that found a lot of success on Kaya have been foregoing playing Kaya for other weapons that are better than Bow is right now. I think Bow, it's a great weapon building, damage building weapon, but I don't think it gives you as much as the other spear legends have. You have Hattori, who is very fast with sword. You have Dusk, who is very consistent with orb. You have a lot of really Seven. We even saw finding some success when Stingray was playing Seven. Having that cannon down like Nair to tap in kills, where on the other hand, you're playing on Kaya and it's like, okay, your spear does a lot, your bow does a lot of damage. How are you finding KOs? Kaya has continuously been nerfed in terms of like Sig power. So it's like, what are you really doing? It feels kind of redundant, at least in my opinion, to play that weapon combination in this meta.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think Spear's really strong. I'm not sure if the Kaya here, if Double Dime leans Bow or leans Spear. Do you know anything about that? The history there?
With Double Dime? No, I'm actually not too sure. I know I've heard the tag Double Dime. I was talking to production a little bit before about who Double Dime is and the history. And I mean, Double Dime has been around for a very, very long time. They have been to almost every BCX. If you look at their history of tournaments, they've been playing since 2017. Their first tournament was the BCS Spring Showdown, and ever since then, I mean, they've been consistently playing all throughout 17, 18, 19, 2019, 2020. So, I don't know exactly what weapon they play mostly, but even so, I think it's interesting.
I think this is a bow.
You think it's a bow?
Yeah. Well, what do I know? But earlier in the bracket, we saw some Azoth.
Ah, okay.
But mostly Kaya, yeah. So if this tournament, is our exclusive pool of data, I would say that this is a Bow player. Which Bow maybe not in a great spot compared to its history, but still a solid weapon. There's nothing weak about having some of the longest normals and longest aerial in the game. I mean, I think that if range is an indicator of power, Bow should always be decently strong. I think into the axe and gauntlets, I mean, you find the Bow playing mostly grounded and winning a lot of the head-to-head grounded exchanges, and it's really the onus of the axe or gauntlets player to use tricky air movement to find an in. I wonder if that's what we're going to see a lot of. That's my prediction going into it. Is we're going to see a lot of grounded play from Double Dime and a lot of the movement and a lot of the approach coming from the axe. Because if you give up space against the bow, I mean, you're just looking to find yourself in a corner against some sort of unreactable bow approach. You know, they're really tough.
And as much as we were speculating the bow, unfortunately, Double Dime will be DQing from winner side of the bracket. They might be able to make a return in the elimination side. But that doesn't stop anything. The show must go on. And we are going right down into the elimination side of the bracket between Hexo and, I just want to make sure I say this right, Hexo and Andraxity. This should be, I think, an interesting match. I say that a lot for sure. But I do think, as we get into this match, Hexo PR number 150 on Jiro. I like to talk about Jiro a lot recently because Jiro is one of those characters that is definitely speculated to be very, very strong in the current meta, but we don't really see many Jiro players. Meg D did show off a couple games on the Jiro, but right now, I mean, hovering over the Artemis, I believe, and then that's going to be a Sidra, so maybe some cannon action for you, Dad Sitter.
Love it. Love cannon. Love Sidra. I think that's another great sword legend, I think. Historically, Sidra, a strong character. Just a strong kid overall. Anytime Cannon's good, Sidra's good.
Yep.
And we were looking at the... What was the other... The...
Hexo?
Yeah.
The other player, Hexo. 17th at Trial of Scotty. That's actually a really good placement. Trial of Scotty was a really tough tournament for NA. 17th there, 33rd at Frostbite 1v1. Frostbite Crew Battle, Stay Hydrated Gamers, that was a 5th place, and then 65th at Trial of Frig, 65th at Ymir. So Hexo actually has been doing pretty well this season so far, and I think right now, so And is Andraxity, and Andraxity is actually going to be playing some Sentinel today. So some Guitar Hammer and
Sentinel
Hexo on
and
the
the Mirage.
Mirage. Okay, so we are completely led astray, but nonetheless, this is going to be very exciting. Mirage is hype, I think. A lot of players are playing Mirage at the beginning of the season. Scythe will never be a bad weapon. You can quote me on that. And Spear is also in a great spot. And then Sentinel, something we don't see a lot. We see mostly the Rock in the Sentinel crossover, but Hammer, Guitars, both strong weapons right now. We'll see how this plays out.
Yes. Okay, first weapon on Androxity, taking some space. Just a couple early footsies, into a string from that Androxity. Looking to pressure off stage with always dangerous against the Scythe, but it looks like we're living and everything's good. Back to footsies on stage.
That up air, or not up air, is it Nair that does that? Yeah, that Nair is actually really interesting because it covers exactly where Guitar down air goes, so you have to be very, very careful in terms of going for those big extended strings off stage. Because if you get turned around off of that Nair, it's just so quickly that it could turn around against your favor. And right now, it's switching over the Sphere. I like the drift from Hexo for sure.
I like the Spear.
Yeah.
What is that, the Field de los Muertos?
I think so.
Yeah, that is drift for sure.
Yeah, there it is. The
okay,
on
that
Mirage.
is an early KO. Everybody knows Mirage, neutral sig, lots of damage. Very, very, very high knockback sig. The price for it being so slow, I suppose, is that if you hit it, it's a KO.
Yeah, actually, I think pretty strong in terms of where it is in relation to the rest of the Sphere normal kit. I think having the ability to put out multiple horizontal hitboxes that are quite high in the air is definitely going to be a great sign.
Good find. This should be an easy tap in, and it is. Okay, and suddenly the game pretty even. I mean, we're seeing an obvious damage deficit, but I mean, both of those KOs were very fast. I'd say that this is going to come down to the wire. Unless either player can find a start to run away with it.
Uses the gravity cancel sig to position off, but you have no dodge now, and because And was kind of holding onto the wall for too long, couldn't risk going off stage to tap in that edge guard. That could have been very, very bad for Hexo, but And not quite ready to.
Yeah, I think playing to the odds there, a white color Mirage, 0 damage taken. It might be a little too high risk, low reward to really fish too hard for a offstage fraction.
Oh,
Jumps into it. The call out with the movement, just something you weren't ready for. The slide off, reverse, pivot side, save from the Mirage, finding the second KO. Now onto the hammer. I don't think we've seen the hammer very much so far this set.
I don't know if it's just like my headcanon, but I feel like Hammer has a pretty tough time into Scythe. I feel like Scythe is able to like weave around the Hammer hitboxes and the very grounded neutral very, very well with those drift and down airs. And right now, and seems to be switching off the Hammer in favor for the Katars, which, you know, I feel like if you're playing Sentinel, like you're probably playing for Katars. Katars is just really solid right now. Nice tap and gravity cancel D-Light into the ground pound, didn't find it, misses the down air, goes to the other side of the stage. We're back.
Self-preservation from both players.
Yeah.
Always time to dance.
Always time. You can always find time here at a Brawlhalla. Nice side air, stage spikes, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you get back and, oh, there's the down sig. I was going to just ask, what is that? What's the down six for Mirage? But there it is. It didn't KO, though. Not quite as strong as the spear ones. They're just going underneath the stage over and over here.
Yeah, this is an offstage game so far. I think we're seeing Hexo come out on top in a lot of these offstage situations, and finding two sort of off the cuff, maybe a little bit surprising KOs with the SIGs at really early damage. Definitely going to secure you a quick and easy game one, and I think that we'll have to see, does Androxus start to respond to some of that movement and get used to this off meta Mirage pick. As I say that, we're going into the Mordex on Hexo, so that might be a character we're more versed with the SIGs of. Maybe we won't be found sleeping and getting hit by some of these again.
Yeah, this is a kind of uncommon Mordex skin. I really haven't seen it used much, but Hexo,
that's
you know,
actually the Hexo.
That's he's known for that. Every time I see that Mordex skin, when somebody counterpicks into Mordex and they like switch to the skin, it's like they're doing like a little prayer. They're like, you know what, I want to be imbued with the Sandstorm energy and get me some clips. And I think that's kind of what Hexo is feeling right now, because And wasn't really showing much, and I feel like Hexo wants to be more in control of the match in terms of like the pace of it with the gauntlets.
Gravity cancel down light into N light, finding early damage. I think we're past the threshold where downlight dare is going to start leading into all of the.
We went for it again.
Oh, we're getting maybe a little silly. That's the Sandstorm energy we're talking about.
Dude, you know what? You've played against my gauntlets quite a bit. That's a very common thing. You get that reversal in there, and you just count your chickens before they hatch. I mean, you just don't touch and grab your resources back. You go for the ground pound trying to tap in the KO. You miss it, you lose your stock for it. But right now, Hexo not skipping a beat, getting that downer on the Qatar recovery, and that should be again. No, the Qatar Sair gave the chase stock. Hexo is so low. That was crazy. And what are we doing? Why are we giving up the entire stage control? It doesn't matter for a man like Andro, though, because right now it's working out. Unfortunately, that sig does catch. I don't like that ground pound on Qatar. I feel like it's just so risky in a weapon that is pretty consistent at just holding space. Putting that ground pound out, I feel like is just too much of a risk.
Yeah, I would say 2 nares is worth 1 ground pound in the bush, so to speak.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nice ground pound there to catch the dodge in, and the Sair.
Excellent edge guard. Multiple dodge punishes in one off-stage skirmish. I'd say that the Sandstorm energy might have been channeled.
Yeah, for Hexo,
not to
2
take
gauntlets in
anything
the
away
hand.
from Hexo, playing excellently right now. Punish, maybe if but a little, you know, braggadocious, a little showboaty with some of the offstage lack of resources here.
Yeah.
Wow,
Hexo.
that was a fast game. Hexo crushing right now.
Yeah. Being very, very confident on the gauntlets. Man,
we're gonna see the. Who did we talk about? We talked about the Androxus.
Draxity?
No, what is the character?
Sidra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Draxity.
I was thinking the Hexo on the
Jiro.
No, I thought Hexo was. Well, this is a Nyx, but I thought Hexo was the damn
Artemis?
Lance. Yeah, Artemis, thank you.
Yeah, Artemis.
See, the name Androxus just took the place of Artemis in my brain. It was gone.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say
His tag is
Androxus.
Andraxity.
What is Androxus then?
Andraxis is a StarCraft thing.
Oh man, I'm all mixed up.
Yeah,
Anyway, so we've got a third game here. Nyx, we're seeing the blasters being played. Love to see that in 2024.
Yeah, I know Sparky definitely does not like it. Sparky wants no one to play blasters, so they buff it. I think blasters, you know, I'm gonna say it, not that terrible.
Low results, low results, but very cool looking.
But off the vibes, I mean, how bad could blasters really be? You're bringing blasters to a sword fight, so to speak, and right now it's working out for Exo.
You know what they say about bringing blasters to a sword fight? Probably try to avoid getting downlighted.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what they say.
Could you imagine, like, you're in a
I've never
duel?
seen that skin before. That was really cool. I like the amp.
This was from last battle pass, the vapor ring.
I see. That makes sense why I haven't seen it. Nobody really rubbing Nyx in my ranked games, I've got to say.
Yeah, I feel like Nyx, it's kind of like you got like really committed Nyx players and then like no one else. I feel like Nyx is not like someone you just kind of dabble in. I don't know if that's because of the difficulty of both sights and blasters, or if that's just a product of the meta right now. But right now, Andraxity's really struggling. You haven't seen the skin. Andraxity hasn't seen any damage in like the last 45 seconds. I mean, that cannon down air is going to do something, but not much in terms of making this comeback happen.
Yeah, having a lot of trouble finding that sort of, because with cannon you want to be like maybe 2.5 players away, I'd say, at any good time. And if you can't like outmaneuver your opponent and get that space that you need, you're really going to struggle to have moves start up. I think that when people are in your when people are in your zone with cannon, it's really hard to get them off. You don't have that fast get off me button that a lot of other weapons have.
Yeah, stacking very solid option versus cannon, funny enough. You need that space to rev up. It's like one of those toy cars. I think that's kind of what cannon brings to the table. That's why I think Lin Fei is so good, because that neutral sig. Well, no Lin Fei here, and Citrus sig definitely not going to help in that attempt.
Yeah,
it's funny because
cannonballs.
Yeah, it's funny because like both of these weapons struggle stacking.
Tragic. To see the side light on the dodge whiff, and then not quite, not 100%.
Oh, nice grab.
Good find. Yes. See, as soon as we start seeing the Sidra get to play maybe a character distance further away than they were, maybe 2.5 character distance, we're seeing a lot of these approaches working. We're seeing the spacing being more effective. We can react to moves and dash away, and then punish. It's much more comfortable for cannon to be in that sort of range.
He slides off deep with that side air, and it does find the connection, and that is a very active hitbox.
Yeah.
Smart to go for that.
Hoping to touch the corner there.
Yeah. If you didn't know, SIGs that go up and then down, if you go up and down, but you touch the wall, it won't stop your SIG, but it will give you your resources back, and that's what Andraxity was looking for there.
Yeah, just barely missed the wall with that one, unfortunately.
Damn, cannon there just not KOing because of that
force
lost. Yeah, never. That's not what it's for.
Off stage.
Oh, nice
stage, that's it.
Ooh, that was clean, the classic. Oh, if he went for gravity cancel downlight, it was over. He missed it though. He went for the down air instead. Something a little bit more safe. Okay, so right now scrapping that side air. He's gonna be able to KO. Yeah, center stage. Okay, Cannon's done it before.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're seeing. I think the Nyx is playing a little impatient. If we can find something really nice here from the Sidra, dig deep, look for it, find it, want it. Oh, it's so tough to get back here. Okay, wait, we have jumps.
Oh, jeez.
Don't get clipped. Don't get clipped. Oh. Okay. Well, that was
takes it 3-0.
3-0 for Hexo.
3 different characters, 3-0, switch on win each time. Hexo, you know, definitely a crowd pleaser, playing a wide variety of very stylish weapons in that 3-0 over Andraxity.
I loved some of the things that Andraxity was doing on the Sidra. I'm not sure what was going on with the Sentinel. I don't know if that's an experimental thing. Our graphic showed a Syndra. I think that maybe there's some previous tournament results on Syndra. I'm not sure. I've never seen the player.
Yeah.
But I liked what the Syndra was doing. I'm not sure if it's a Scythe matchup thing.
Yeah.
I personally struggle Soul versus Scythe. I play almost exclusively Axe. I think it's too it's really difficult. Like you were saying, I think Scythe can kind of float in really uncomfortable spots against any weapon.
Yeah.
And the difficulty of having slow move startup and kind of moving around with every single move that you use as cannon can make it really hard to get people away from your floaty danger zones, and then you get hit, and then you take damage, and then eventually you get knocked out.
Yeah, great point. Hexo is going to be moving on in that set, and we got a lot of great matches here right now. We have another elimination side round 1, but if I am not mistaken, we're going to be going to a short break, and then we'll be back with more top 8 action. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Bearded Brawls United States West bracket. We got West Coast Brawls action, and we are here in top 8 still. We got a very exciting match between Starno and Jack Nasty, but before we get into it, Dad Sitter, how are you feeling right now?
I think, you know, that's how I feel.
No,
I don't know. I'm excited to see Jack Nasty. That's a cool tag.
I was going to say,
really
maybe one of the best tags I've seen in Brawlhalla in quite a while.
So cool.
Yeah.
I want to be Jack Nasty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be very exciting. Exciting match between the two. I think we got Starno coming in at seed 107, or not seed, PR number 117. Jack Nasty, no stats. We have no idea what they are bringing to the table. No tournament placements. No anything. No anything. So
First
we're coming in
all
blind.
time, guaranteed top 9.
They're top 8 right now. They're guaranteed 7th place, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, they might just be in the money. I see you in the chat, Jack Nasty. Great tag. We're gonna be getting into this next match with some Jala. This is crazy drip, by the way, from both of these players. I mean, this is very, very exciting match between the two. I'm very excited.
This is like a battle between light and dark.
Yeah, this is Innocence and what's the
Sin.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
You and only you I shall save. Shout out to PoE players in chat, all 2 of us.
Hey, Defensive is pogging somewhere. I'm sure he's definitely listening. But nonetheless, we're getting into the Jala and the Bryn matchup. This is kind of crazy. I'm like kind of excited just because of how cool they look coming into this match. We got the light versus the dark. We got the Bryn coming in, the consistency. We got Jala, the aggression. It's gonna be very, very exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think I like both of these characters. I think that these are like some staple characters of Brawlhalla. I think that you should absolutely try them if you haven't. I can't wait to see if this is going to be a more aerial or grounded game here. And it's really gonna not even start until the weapon guard ends, which just did. But we'd love to see that damage if we're Jala fans.
Yeah,
which I am with a tag like Jack Nasty. I don't mean to be biased, but how could I not?
Yeah, this is Jala is very glass cannon. Lower defense, I think it's like 4 defense. High damage. Yeah, and you know, as Jala, you want to start pacing heavily. It's great because Axe does so much damage because of your strength, and then you get a downlight recovery to KO a lot sooner as well. But right now, Starno with a big aggression here goes for that side stick. Doesn't find it downlight.
That should find it. Yes.
That was a clean conversion. Right now, Jack Nasty coming out with no anything, man. There's no stats, but it's working out.
Do you think Jack Nasty and I could have been friends?
Dude, I don't think your tag's cool enough.
I mean, neither, dude.
I think like a tag like slow motion's a great tag. I think maybe maybe slow would be friends, but nonetheless, Starno able to find the mark with that side stick on the spear, which we haven't seen a lot of spear from Starno.
This is a very fast-paced game compared to the ones that we've been seeing so far. I love the style from both these players. Control and pressure, aggression, damage. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool to see. And this is kind of the benefit of these community tournaments, is that players that don't really make it to the official events or make it to the, high enough to get to the stream have these opportunities to make something big happen. And, this is some West Coast excellence, West Coast, Best Coast. And right now it's working out pretty well for Jack Nasty, but Starno with a big down air, not able to find the KO off of it. But the damage is even. That end light almost KOing.
This looks like this might be it. Oh, wow, the turnaround. Just too ambitious with the offstage gravity canceled downlight. Maybe miscounted jumps there. I'm not sure.
It's honestly so interesting to see like how this Jala is working in such a big way. The axe being the big damage builder, the sword being the consistency, but sometimes it doesn't matter, as that Bryn down sig on the spear is going to be able to find that stop.
This has been just a back and forth intense match so far. I think I'm gonna enjoy this set.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's so cool, right? Because like you have so much damage on the side of Jala, but also low defense. So it's actually been extremely close. The gravity cancel down sig does so much damage that the end sig whiffs and actually catches with the second side. Like doesn't find a conversion off of it, and right now it is pretty back and forth. The downlight into Nair doesn't fully confirm, but Ooh, very important to go high there to avoid that ground pound. Right now, Jack Nasty with an opportunity to tap this stock in, doesn't find it. The dodge up gets expended, and right now, Starno has just not been pulling the trigger. Oh, it clipped!
The miss jump! Wow, so close. I would say that might be a skin advantage moment. Shout out to Blue Mammoth.
Yeah, I think...
I think it was pretty clearly visible. It was just a mistake. Those things happen. I think he could have gone low. Or gone...
It was definitely a matter of him not realizing how long, even on gravity cancel, it lasted. And try to go for a Sair. So you see here, no sandwich, slow motion. But we do get the... you see the Sair startup. So Jack Nasty wanted to reversal immediately, pulled the trigger too early, and got punished for it because of this.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little inconclusive ending, but I think that this is going to be a good set. I really am enjoying both of these players. We see the defensive stance from the Jala, so we are
4 defense.
It's a 1 point difference. I mean, I think that it's not so much of a glass cannon as we might have thought so far.
Interesting stat. Starno, even though you are, lower strength than Jala is, actually getting more per engagement, 41 damage on average per engagement, just kind of shows that, with the spear and the consistency of Bryn, you're able to just output more damage in general, even versus such a high damage
call out
character. Oh yeah, you saw that gravity cancel downlight ground pound. It didn't find the KO, but it's a lot of good damage in Jala. I mean, even with that 1 extra strength or 1 extra defense, you're still like not super comfortable taking free damage like that. Another thing, Jack Nasty dashing 40 more times in this game, so already a lot more movement on Jack Nasty, but that just gives more opportunities for Starno to catch you and take your stock away. That down sig led into that KO, and right now Starno is looking very, very solid.
Yeah, I think that you've got to be in your head a little bit after jumping into the down sig like that last game.
No, for sure. I mean, you lost the game. It should have been yours. To that, and then now this one, the first stock of this game being another down sig, they call it the writing on the wall sometimes, where it's like it's a sign of what's to come, and hopefully those down sigs are out of the fate for Jack Nasty, who's been getting punished so heavily by just, I think, over moving a little bit, sometimes just moving a little bit too aggressively into Starno's hands, and it's exactly what Starno needs to keep the damage even.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's looking suddenly very good for Jack. I think that things are... Sorry, Mr. Nasty. That's my... this game, I mean, this is a whirlwind of a game. I think that each of these players has agreed to hold nothing back, and they are brawling and they are scrapping, and this is what it's all about. Some might say this is a holla, and they are brawling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pulling no punches, gas pedal down. Just it's what comes from, I think, these two characters. I think Jala tends to really speed up the pace of matches. Like I keep saying, you need to constantly keep the high octane pressure going. Misses the ground pound there, even on a Bryn with all that strength. It's maybe not the greatest option to go for that because it gets reversal so quickly.
Even last talk situation.
All off of that ground pound attempt after hitting a side light, even in white. I don't think that KOs. So it's like, do you really go for that? Do you burn it all?
Exactly.
For that? It's not great.
Wow, such good movement from the Jala. I'm consistently being impressed by the small positioning changes, going from stacked to unstacked just so quickly, and really just confusing Starno a little bit, I think, in positioning. But then you see things like that, and it's like the defensive flowchart from Jack Nasty and the offensive flowchart from Starno, I think, are just overlapping in this way, where Starno is just so consistently finding these kills. I think it's just everything is going so according to plan every time you see it just work in motion.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing you were talking about. Like Jack Nasty, because you're on the sword, you don't have a hitbox or side neutral light that covers your stack. So what you're seeing is, like you were saying, engaging in stacking and then unstacking and swinging first with the downlight. It works, but once Starno is able to get some semblance of distance between the two, I feel like the axe and the spear just like knock Jack Nasty away and catches movement so often. And like you were saying, Starno's offensive flowchart versus Jack Nasty's defensive led to those situations where those down six starts working, those side airs, those jump call outs. So as Jack Nasty, I mean, the movement is great in neutral, but as soon as it gets into that disadvantage, you're off stage, you're getting juggled, it's not been looking so good. And that might just be the difference of somebody coming in with a lot more experience, as Starno is up 2-0 in the set right now.
Jack Nasty with the character change, looking like bowling for soup.
It's crazy.
Okay, anyway.
Hey, you know what? You went for it. You got to appreciate when a caster just goes for it. For whoever got that one out there, I'm sure you're hogging it right now. Starno is looking pretty solid right now. Hey, this is a cool drip, man. With the guitar axe, I feel like people are really coming in best dressed for this West Coast bearded brawl, because Starno getting that side air is one stock closer to taking this set and moving forward.
Man, I wanted this set to last longer because this is a very entertaining brawl.
Yeah, for sure. Very different change of pace than the matches we've been seeing all weekend long. Very, defensive is the name of the game for North America, and right now we're seeing a lot of forward aggression, and it's very, very exciting to see.
Ooh, good call out on the dodge up. That was really well executed. Went to the wall, convinced Starno in his heart that we were going to the wall, and then just jumped out and said, no, you're not going to dodge up. Footsies have been great. And we're just swinging, and both players are just swinging.
Yeah, it's type C. Like, we're just seeing there's so much aggression right now. You're seeing Mr. Nasty get really, really great stacking damage, and I think that's something you need to find versus the axe and the spear. And goes for that big sig and gets immediately punished in such a big way with that cider. When you see Starno looking to tap it in, yes, gets one pogo. You need about 2 or 3 pogos on average to find a KO. We only saw one there, and Mr. Nasty accordingly getting back to the stage.
I think the pogo weapon toss might have found it.
Uh-oh. Nice. Gets the ground pound on the sword. One of the only weapons that has a ground pound that doesn't just trade out. It just beats out that recovery from the spear. And you see that there from Jack Nasty, just able to take out that stock cleanly. Okay, we're getting a little aggressive with that gravity cancel downlight, and you're taking some damage for it. This is Jala, man. You cannot afford to make mistakes like that. And Starno, just one pogo away, the recovery does scoop up and find the KO. Right now, it's even stocks, last stock. Jack Nasty needs to take take this game and then take 2 more. Starno, 1 stock away from moving on into top 5. Nice pick up there. Nice side air. Gets the pogo after as well. Jack Nasty not burning the dodges. Burns the dodges there on the chase dodge. And right now, Starno kind of controlling the pace with the spear. Goes for the 2. Oh, just goes for the end sig. It doesn't KO, but it puts him in such a bad spot. Oh, what an overextension from both players, but no one gets punished. Starno gets the tap in anyway with the gravity cancel down into ground pound. Starno takes it in a very aggressive and high octane set. What a treat here in the first round of elimination top 8. That was so exciting.
Yeah, I'm floored. I mean, I think that was the Brawlhalla that we all wish that we could play in our heads.
Yeah.
Tragic that the person with the coolest tag in the tournament is out.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can really just be happy that it happened.
Yeah. Don't be sad it's over. Be happy it happened. Jack Nasty, I mean, this is their first tournament, according to my stats tool, which seems to be pretty accurate most of the time. Shout outs, making it all the way into top 8, and hopefully we get to see more of Jack Nasty's Jala. I'm a big Jala fan. This is definitely my tilt Q character, I'll be honest. If you catch me on ranked at 1 in the morning, probably playing Jala. For that reason, you're able to just go in, use that movement, use the damage to get a lot of aggression going. And I think it's a very exciting, very enticing character, especially in this current meta. So shout out to Jack Nasty getting 7th place. But we will be moving on, and we are going to be moving on into our next set. So what was supposed to happen was Starno was supposed to play into Double Dime, but Double Dime unfortunately having to DQ out of the bracket at 5th place. We're going to be moving right into our last set of the block between Sleeping and Hexo.
Sleeping and Hexo, you say? I seem to recall both these players from earlier. Yeah. Hexo, I don't think we got to see Hexo try very hard. I'm curious if the Sandstorm energy wore off or if that is still channeled. And I recall.
Thank you. Thank you, production, for catching us up. As I want to let you finish. What were you saying about Hexo, Dad?
I was just gonna say, and sleeping, we saw working really hard, taking Wub's top seed of the tournament to the limit. So this might be a good matchup. The Hexo, the style, the speed, and sleeping, who was just really controlling space very well.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in, we're going to be, if you're just tuning in, we'd love to catch you up on some of the previous matches that have been happening in the bracket. It's been a very exciting top 8, a lot of upsets, a lot of players that maybe you're not too familiar with. So as we look over here, the previous sets, we got Hexo 3-0ing and Draxity, Starno 3-0ing Jack Nasty, Starno beating Double Dime in a DQ, Sleeping, and Hexo is the match we're getting. And we'll be getting winners finals after a quick caster swap. After our set, we're not done yet. We got Wubs and Seabass queued up for stream. But right now, Sleeping versus Hexo. Not to be mistaken with Sleeper. I believe there's another player named Sleeper. Sleeping is a completely different player. PR number 264 in North America. And looking to take another name in a big upset versus Hexo.
So this is, in fact, Hexo and Sleeping. Hexo on the Hattori, so no sight this time. This is everything is new. We have no data.
2, 1,
and we're seeing the Nash. I don't see very much Nash.
Yeah, it's funny. Nash is such an interesting legend, and I think one of the benefits of Nash has kind of really good SIGs low key. Oh, look at the movement from Hexo there. Didn't pull the trigger. Waits. The patience is so impressive. Oh
wow,
no!
Sleeping, great turn.
Wait,
Get
this
the
is
damage where we can.
They're cooking right now. This is exciting. Ooh,
the lacrosse stick versus the jellyfishing net.
And the jellyfishing net takes it first there.
I mean, when wouldn't it?
Yeah. You know that meme of like the architect and the builder, you know, like
yeah.
And, dude, he has a ladder. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a connection here. This is such a crazy set. I feel like I haven't even really been able to introduce the players well, but we're here right now and it's going crazy.
Sleeping is saying, "I'll handle this." Okay, all right. Game's even. The Hattori's moving, by the way. I don't think we've mentioned it. I'm loving the movement. I think that, I mean, you get caught in just a couple hits from the Nash and you're looking at a stock that's almost ready to be gone. But the Hattori goes. Sure is moving. Getting caught out of the recovery. Back on the stage, back to neutral. Nash whipping the side. Sig. Recoveries. Wow. This is, I mean, we're seeing so many small hits and small trades and, like, nuanced gameplay, but the bottom line is Nash is just hitting harder, and it's just getting more follow-ups.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I forgot when, I think I was commentating a block with Sparky, and we were seeing some Nash. I feel like Nash, kind of a sleeper pick right now. I think Spear's in a great spot. Hammer, you know, won't be bad for a while, and I think you're kind of seeing the Nash effect where you're just doing so much of that damage right now. Hexo looking to create some space with the lacrosse net.
Oh, good catch.
Double down line. Oh, doesn't find the recovery though. That's a big drop. Big drop for sure. Oh, beats, stuffs out the side sig and then goes in with a side sig of their own. They're just showing off the aggression. Another side sig from out of the corner. 3 side sigs in a row. It just always works.
How are we getting
Who
hit
is
by
this
those?
guy?
We've got to press the jump button.
Who is this guy? He comes in here with a Nash we've never seen before and just throws out 3 side six, all 3 hit. He takes the game. This guy is seeded number 85th. He's playing for 5th place right now, and to move on forward, what is going on?
So we're seeing the spear, I mean, really just crush and damage. Obviously the hammer is doing a lot too, but the spear is most of the work, which is a very interesting change from the no, it's okay. The easily recognizable Taros and the axe was it. And now we're on another character where the hammer is the secondary weapon. And I think that's very interesting. You don't normally see somebody swap characters and then swap to another character where they're playing with their main weapon as a different weapon, but the side weapon is the
3,
same.
2, 1.
The classic cameo from my dog Obi. He gets really excited when I start getting excited. I like to blame that one on Sleeping though, who is coming in here. I keep saying like this dude is seated, seated 85th in the tournament and continues to show up right now versus the Jiro. Okay, the thing is, right, Jiro kind of glass cannony too. Nash will nuke you for it.
Oh, what a good catch!
Wait, who is he?
He's flying too close to the sun. We've got to go back.
Get back on stage, man.
At the same time.
Oh.
Oh, the pineapple. The interaction with the top of the head and the bottom of the stage, never a good one.
It's so disgusting what's going on right now with this Nash. I mean, it's like, this is the true pinnacle of bringing this Nash in. You're just doing so much, causing so much havoc. And I feel like right now Hexo is just getting beat at his own game. Cannot find anything going right now, but it's a nice little catch there with the side. Yeah, like you said, and then there into recovery comes in from Boulder, who is just doing so much damage with every hit. Nice catch there. No more side 6 shenanigans. Hexo again! Okay, no reversal there, just finds the recovery anyway, and Hexo cleaning up the socket.
Closing there first off.
Oh, here we go.
With the catch, just make it so simple. Just call out the jump, it's that easy. Yeah, I think it's smarter to get the weapon there. And Sleeping just really playing to win.
Dude, what is going on right now?
I've seen so many people go off stage in that situation today and just take damage.
He's playing real solid right now. That's 3 nairs. That's so much damage.
Let's not forget, this player wants the run back with Wubs.
Yeah, 100%.
If that is Grands, I think it's going to be a really good Grands because it was so close. It really looks like Sleeping dug deep and is finding their flow again. This is not the player we saw in Game 5 of the upset.
Yeah. Picks up the weapon there after getting hit into the wall. And what a sig from Sleeping.
I'll handle it.
Who is this guy, dude? The builder and the architect, the angry pumpkin, they're all coming out for the Nash right now because Sleeping is just going off. I don't even know what to say. I've never been so flabbergasted watching Brawlhalla in my life, but Sleeping, it just continues to impress.
Hexo, I mean, what do you do here? You can't. He has 2 decks. You can't find yourself in a spot where you can float above the Nash's head without taking damage. The spear is too good at calling out that movement that Scythe is just also known for. So you've got to play a more grounded game. What do you think your goal is if you're a Scythe enjoyer to really pressure the spear? I think that's a really traditionally hard matchup. I think that your jump in dares are all shut down and all of your grounded game can be thrown away by neutral light inside.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot that you need to like kick into. Maybe it's a sword angle, like you got to find some more activation on sword.
3, 2,
Honestly, that's
1,
it. I don't know what to do because
Yeah.
I'm like completely shocked at how crazy, how dumb in a good way, in the best way possible, this Nash is going right now.
I mean, there's a reason that these guys are really cool potatoes and we're just commentators, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. I mean, I don't think I could have said it better myself. Yeah, and right now, I mean, Sleeping on the spear.
Wow,
Dude, how is that
swinging.
6 so fast, bro?
2 decks.
That's just a sideline. Yeah, that's 2 decks, by the way.
Swinging with the jellyfishing net. What are we looking for? We're gonna catch it? That's the question.
Yeah, he caught that with the downlight there and almost finds the nair to continue. Goes for another side sig. You gotta be careful.
Pick up side sig is such a classic.
Yes.
You know, oh, the theory it doesn't prove.
Yeah, I have this thing where I think like if your players just figure out they can just ground pound in center stage, it works a lot of times. But there, I mean, Hexo just too solid. Okay, this is exactly what happened in the winner side set for Sleeping. So we're gonna find out right here, right now on the slow motion Brawlhalla stream at West Coast Brawl if Sleeping is in fact a closer. It's gonna take a lot here.
Maybe a big fan of the best of 3 format. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be sitting comfortably in winners finals right now if that was the case. But I mean, you know, no better people to prove wrong than the commentators, because right now making a case for himself on the spear once again. I love this spear skin, by the way.
Yeah, it's just silly. I mean, who doesn't like a ridiculous skin where you're swinging a ladder around?
Like a popsicle greatsword, the greatest skin in Brawlhalla. Nonetheless, right now they're playing very, very tricky offstage. Exclamation points coming out from Hexo. Able to make it back there. Does he touch the wall? Yes, he does. He throws the weapon up that time to disrupt a ground pound attempt. How do they still have resources?
Wow, the call out on the high.
They don't. That's your stock on.
Yeah, that's tough.
What a great, like, what could you really do there? Okay, now it's even again.
Excellent flowchart with the G-Row offstage there.
Yeah. Should be nice and easy to tap this one if you are sleeping. Look at that. Sig does scoop below the wall, so you have to be careful about that. Right now playing very well, throwing the weapon across it. Yeah, there it is, the ground pound.
Yeah,
just
that's so
yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Out of hit.
Get off me. This is my half of the stage.
Really gotta find it.
Boom.
There it is. Okay, found.
And once again, sleeping one more stock for one stock away from taking a game here and moving on in the bracket. We'll see if he can do it here. The hammer gets the weapon toss Nair into recovery. So much damage on the Nash. This is 2 decks hammer for you.
Game's even.
Dude, if I'm Kaina, I'm like, bro, sleeping needs to chill. He's gonna get hammer nerf. This is 2 decks hammer. It's just working.
It's scary. This is not where we want to be.
Oh, really that. Yeah, I think he did touch.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. All right, we've been here before. We've seen this play out. I think we go back to a big stage. I think we start pressing side sig a little bit more. I think that the movement in the previous rounds from the Nash looked a little bit better. I think that we're maybe running out of gas a little bit. I think that if I'm Nash here, I'm saying, okay, I just have to play how I was playing. And if I'm Hexo here, I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, I'd be patting myself on the back, absolutely, for the very well executed offstage flowcharts. I think that that one stock that we saw where it was a jump in and to the left 3 times in a row, all called out with the scythe down air and weapon tosses, and then the final was just the jump straight up and dodge through attempt, and it was just beautifully called out by the Jiro side sig. It's like such smart, consistent gameplay, finding each of these catches. If we see more stocks like that, I think that this might be Hexo's game really quickly.
Yeah, I think it's always a nice thing to get something like that, right? Where you're definitely playing into what your game plan is using that scythe and getting crazy edge guards going. And I think as Hexo, you can find some solace in the fact that it worked. Like what you wanted out of Jiro worked versus the Snash. You can make it happen. You just got to make it make something stick here. And right now it's a great opportunity once again. I mean, it just takes one whiff in front of Hexo and your stock is gone. The weapon toss even dodges the weapon toss. That was crazy. So much damage. Dude, Hexo's he's just not giving up right now. This is it right here. That's the stock.
Up and to the left again. It's just the consistent call out on the up and to the left movement. Or like, slightly below and left the Jiro's model, I mean to say.
Yeah. You gotta find something out here if you're sleeping, because it is not working right now.
Right
that downer catches once again. Yeah,
we really just gotta avoid fighting on the wall. Okay. A little bit more patience from Hexo than the first couple of games, maybe. That might be part of it. I think that's part of what Love was learning as well.
Oh no. Can you read it high here? The high recovery comes in. The weapon toss does disrupt
Hexo.
Okay,
great movement. That's what we have to be seeing more of, that smart defensive play off stage from Nash. You've got to understand that you're going to get outgunned versus Scythe.
That was so smart. The weapon toss covered so much, yeah.
So many places that you couldn't go.
Yeah,
that's 2 weapons that are gone forever.
What was so smart was the chase dodge into the ground to land quicker, pick up the weapon. The hammer still has a hitbox because it's just flying around covering that high recovery attempt. Oh, that was almost
that might be a stock. That's a wow. Wow, the side light. The what was it? Side light and the side that saved it?
Just side light, side sig, and then
was
and it was
neutral?
over.
I don't know. It happened so fast.
This is 2 decks Nash.
Spear's
doesn't matter.
so good. Spear is really good.
Okay, playing with fire here, you have an extra stock to play with, and he's going to look to find some aggression there.
I mean,
beside
this
his,
is an extra credit situation for sure. I mean, I think that you're not necessarily looking for the offstage early KO as Nash.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, that damage helps so much. This is, I mean, like we saw last time, you're a neutral light siding away from being in a really tough spot.
Yeah. There it is. That's a pickup. Baits the dodge out and calls it out. That was such a big read. That could really be game deciding. We'll see if he can capitalize on this juggle, and he does the recovery once again. Oh, but there's the sweat beats come out. It doesn't matter. The ground pound. That's it.
Oh, wow. Sleeping advancing the tournament.
That was wild. Sleeping, making it work. You see that first stock there, Jiro, under 50 damage there in that first stock, and then it just all slips away. Look at that weapon toss after. I wish we got to see the whole interaction, but that was off the back of a side sig pre 100 damage. I mean, it was just crazy to see how quickly the Nash was able to find some activation. I don't know if we were too sure about the Nash. I feel like we were doubting it a little bit, but it worked out. 321 damage on the spear. Just really that Nash spear coming in big.
That was just, I mean, that was just great gameplay. I think that Sleeping really locked in, you know.
Yeah.
I think that we were looking at maybe a repeat of what happened on the winner side of the bracket. But Sleeping really managed to lock in and find their gameplay and do what they needed to.
Yeah. And with that being said, Sleeping with a 3-1. I'm sorry. Couldn't hear you. What'd you say? Okay. With that being said, Sleeping was able to move a 3-1 over Hexo. Like you were saying, I think if we're going to see a Sleeping versus Wubs grand finals, that would be the most exciting outcome, because he wants the comeback for sure.
I think that's the storyline here. You hate to be Sleeping and have to just roll over like a dog after throwing away a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
And what we're really seeing, as opposed to that, is just locking in and putting your foot down and saying, no, I want another chance. I know that I can beat this player. I want this. I want this PR win. I want this tournament prize money. I want the fame and the fortune.
Yeah,
I think that.
he wants it.
I mean, I just saw a Nash wanting it there.
Yeah, like you were saying, like he wants to win, and it's crazy to say. Like, obviously, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to win everything. But it was really showing. Sleeping was like, I'm going to play to win. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to go off stage in big ways. I'm going to throw out. I'm going to abuse what Nash is good for. I'm going to make those jump scare sigs work. I'm going to make it happen and move on and continue. I think that's the storyline looking. I think that elimination side is going to be exciting. But that will do it for our block here. We had some very exciting matches. I think we are now Sleeping fans for sure. But before we head out, Dad Sitter, is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me, Bearded Brawls. Thank you, Brawlhalla. That's all.
Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to do a quick caster swap over to Graffiti, and I believe it's Flaming, so some very great casters. Stay tuned. We got more West Coast Brawl action. We got the rest of top 8 right after this break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the West Coast Brawls, the bearded Brawls tournament for the West Coast players. My name is Flaming MBL, one of your amazing casters for this evening. Beside me, we have Graffiti.
Hi,
Hi, Graffiti. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing really good. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, I think we all are happy to be here. I mean, seeing some of these matches, I mean, what wouldn't get you hyped for these top 4 matches? And seeing our qualifiers, I think this is definitely going to be one of the tournaments
Of all time.
of all time. One of the tournaments of all time.
This is out of all the gameplay that I have seen in my entire career as a caster and analyst, this is probably some of the most. Just to give y'all a little bit of a refresher of some of the players that we have going through the bracket, we still have Starno and Sleeping, both of which are phenomenal players, and they are clawing tooth and nail to try and get into lower finals. And who they'll be meeting there will be decided over the course of the next few minutes of our lives. We're going to be waiting for these players to start to get going. That, of course, is going to be Wubs versus Seabass. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's Seed 1 v Seed 2. Am I not mistaken?
I do not think you are mistaken there. I mean, Wub's extremely good player. Playing out of his mind to getting that reverse throw earlier on in winners semifinals. Great play there. And Seabass getting into this winner's this winner's final off of a DQ from Double Dime. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more. Oh, actually, no, they DQ'd. My bad. Never mind. But regardless, this is going to be a great winner's final. We're going to see a huge matchup between 2 West Coast demons. And I think, this I don't want to call it early, but I'm hoping for a Game 5. We got to get some enjoyment already, I'm excited. I'm ready for this.
Most certainly deserve a Game 5. But so far, before we even get to Game 5, we're going to have to start with Game 1 and see where that leads us. We're going to be having both of these players staying on some picks that are not too out of the ordinary, but still not something that we really see every single day from either one of these players. Wubs on a Cassidy that they've actually been making some pretty good appearances with. I'm pretty sure most recently at Trial of Scatty, and then also throughout communities they played a pretty decent Cassidy. Then we also have Seabass on the Rayman. I feel like I've seen Seabass play a Taros a lot more, but hey, Rayman not too far off. It should be pretty interesting. Yes.
Listen, you weren't there when Seabass was, finally climbing those ranks from 24 and then starting to get up there. I mean, playing that grin. You weren't there. I was. I was there. I was one of the original Seabass fans before I even know who Seabass was. You're a fraud, but I'm just kidding, though. But Seabass has definitely grown as a player. And for Wubs to still be able to compete, I mean, they've had the longevity. I mean, since 2018, they've been competing. So, I mean, that's 6 years of Brawlhalla Esports and coming in here with a guaranteed podium already. It's crazy. This West Coast Brawl, kind of showcases, it's like maybe that server difference is something that could be looked at. But regardless, pretty even game here.
For one of these players, early lead, we have Seabass chasing in. Seabass's pressure so far has been fantastic. Laid out any attack Wubs the Ensig whiffs, but Seabass able to capitalize on that, not able to punish the second Ensig as the double bonk lets Wubs hit a modified Mafia, and that doesn't quite send Rayman packing out of the first block. Goodness me, that puts me in a bit more comfortable situation to land a KO. And Seabass now choosing to play a bit more carefully.
Yeah, I mean, they had kind of that big outburst, and they were able to just kind of run away with the lead a bit, but Wubs was able to kind of bring that back slowly but surely, finding those hits. Does go down there to their second stock, but now Seabass kind of has to play a little bit more controlled here. They want to try and find these small damaging hits. And Wubs gonna whiff on that downer, but a nice stomp side air would do it there for Seabass's first stock.
Yeah, no, touching down a second stock now. Need to. Oh, you're standing still for a minute. I was completely thrown off by that. Honestly, no one from the small ankle like dead.
Like a possum?
Yeah. No, Seabass literally pulled that on me, and it worked.
this is game one. You know, like I said, I want to see a game 5 for our first set. I mean, it's a winner's final. You don't want it to be a sweep. You know, you want it to be pretty close game, pretty close set, in some anticipation for that grand final spot. And I mean, this is, you know, it's game one. Game one, there's chances to make adaptations, and Wubs definitely starting to do a lot better than they have been. You know, finding a lot more damage and avoiding a lot more of that pressure from Seabass.
Seabass pretty easy to respond to, and Wubs very nice to lead. However, Wubs is doing this really well. I don't know, Seabass pressure is really good. But, like, look at how well Wubs is able to navigate the stage. Lana's way back up. Brawls just escaped from the box maximum to be able to pick the blaster and expand his lead a little bit more. About to maybe pull up bit of an overlap, as we currently have Seabass trying to navigate his way through this second stock of Wubs, dancing around with the hammer of Wubs and having a hard time finding and doing the hit, knowing that Seabass is, you know, reserved and able to punish anything that Wubs throws his way.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much evened up here. I think it's kind of slowed down here. I think for both players, kind of trying to find those options, finding that neutral, trying to find some footing. And I think they're just kind of trying to say, all right, well, you're gonna do this, so I'll do this. But then they're like, you think I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this, and a nice double neutral sig there from Wubs to build some damage there onto Seabass. Like you said earlier, this Cassidy pick has been working wonders. This is quite kind of a slow game, you know, not really too much pressure. I mean, just kind of constantly playing this neutral. Seabass going to pick up the axe, and now we'll see them shine hopefully a little bit more. But Wubs now going on the offensive has Seabass closer and closer to that knockout percentage. But a beautiful whiffed Mafia, very unfortunate there for Wubs, and now Seabass has a chance to try and do a little bit more damage.
Yeah, Seabass has actually done a fantastic job of evening out the huge lead that was presented in front of him. Unfortunately, that lead all leads up to the D-Light Sayer that closes the game out. Hypnotic's own Wubs, I think, might need a bit of a reset before we get right back in the next game. Seabass, though, in even more of an interesting pick with this cast speed. I gotta say, I would go back to their iconic set during the BCX side stream. I think I might have to see if I can go back through that and see what characters they locked in, because they actually showed up a lot on side stream, and they had some very, very impressive games. So I'm gonna have to see what surprises they threw out back in November of 23. But it is now April of 24, dawn of a new day and the rise of a new list of champions. We got a list of new players on a really huge up and coming, and also look. Wait, is the graph broken, or is that actually what the stocks look like?
I don't know. That looks maybe like the first. I'm sorry. I don't honestly. I don't know. Doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. But hey, you know what?
No, that looked a little funny.
That doesn't matter. That looked a little funny. But hey, like it looks like you. A little funny. It's okay.
Hey, wait, was that an insult?
Hey. No.
No? Okay.
No.
Alright.
You've been informed. He got destroyed. Lamau. Moving on. So.
There's the Teros I was. Okay, the Teros is gone. That's the Teros I was talking about. But Seabass, I guess, is just making me terrifying. Hee, just kind of making me a quick fool of myself. We might be seeing that Teros again. I know Seabass is not really. Okay, alright, really do. But we might not really see much of that. Or we might see it a little bit later. We haven't really been seeing much of it as far as today's stream goes. But who knows if Wubs picks up the pace and this reset actually really goes in his favor. We could be having Seabass on the back foot. We're just going to wait and give the players a quick little go-ahead. And then we're going to watch some more Brawlhalla.
You know, I love watching Brawlhalla. Do you love watching Brawlhalla?
I do sometimes. Only if I get to yap about it. Only if I get to waffle.
What? You can't... Look, listen to me. What if I told you waffles... You can't have them anymore. You have to just deal with pancakes.
No. I
Don't
don't
listen.
I don't like the complexities of this game. I don't even know what neutral is. I just like yapping. I'm a professional
You just
yapper.
like saying the word.
I like saying words. I don't even call it neutral. I call it the good nooch because it sounds funny.
What?
The good nooch.
That sounds like a soup.
Soup.
Sounds like a soup. But anyway,
When
here
I'm
we go.
sick,
Game
my
number
mom
2.
makes a great nooch soup.
A great nooch. Anyway, game 2. Seabass kind of has a little bit of a lead here with this spear. You know, a lot of people say spear's kind of top 1 right now. Yeah, they're wrong. Anyway, Seabass getting hit by that ground, but Seabass barely managing to make it back. Beautiful recovery skills.
Oh my god.
That was close. A nice neutral sig weapon. It was not going to connect. Going for that gravity cancel sidelight. Wubbs has no recovery. They do touch, though, off of that. So a little bit of fall. And they're able to make it back. Beautiful down air there for Seabass. And that's going to be the first stock here in game 2. A little bit different from last time, but I mean, Seabass still got the first stock.
Dance around with hammer. This is actually one thing that Wubbs doing fantastic on. I mean, Wubbs' blasters are pretty good, but Wubbs' hammer is really what gave him some of the highlights that they did during that last game. I don't know if you like ground pound. Solid way to snuff out a stock. Currently celebrating his win. Wubbs dancing around. Weapon starves. I think doubles down on hammer, which is a pretty smart choice. However, has to run hammer into Seabass's orb. And I don't actually. Have we ever seen Seabass's orb if it was on stream today alone, or really just in his career?
I don't think today, but I know Seabass has definitely played a lot of weapons. I mentioned before the Bryn. Obviously, we saw the Taros, and then also we saw a Rayman earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the spear is doing really well, and that orb actually is, you know, picking up some slack as well. So I think overall this Dusk pick is pretty good there for Seabass. However, Wubbs with a nice, good positioning does get disarmed there. So Seabass now in an advantage state. Fastball recovery, beautiful KO there by Seabass, and now Wubbs down to the last stock here, game 2.
Seabass trying to keep some space in between him and Wubbs. Throws the weapon up to try and grab the spear he doubled down. Wubbs is kind of really running out of options. We do have another weapon, but Seabass is actually being really good at weapon starving, and this is also really kind of showing that he's not picking a character just for one weapon like sometimes you see people do. He's good at both weapons, and that's going to make weapon starving a lot easier because it makes it so that when you pick up a weapon, you spend less time there. Wubbs, however, unarmed recovery gives him the space to pick up hammer, and the end sig sends. Right now, Wubbs has to play a darn near perfect stock to bring this back. But still, fret not, Wubbs enjoyers. Even if Wubbs loses this game, Wubbs is still currently ahead in the set. So right now, this means the set is tied or Wubbs goes up. But also that means Wubbs will have to play a perfect stock to even out the set, or I guess keep it from being even. And that's going to be a lot to ask.
Especially considering they fell there. But hey, you know what? Game 2 is over. Game 1's over. Both of them have a game to their name.
Yes, sir.
That Game 5 prediction possibly coming true, Graffiti. I'm like a prophet, but without all the skills and knowledge of a prophet.
You're like
I'm like a regular
oracle.
guy.
You're like if an oracle was really funny.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hello, Brawlhalla. Alright, anyway. So, game number 3. Here we go. If this was a best of 3 set, this would be the final game. But luckily
Yeah, but
for
we
us,
don't like those.
this is true. We do not like best of 3 games.
Oh.
What we do love, though, is a best of 5.
He is right. I do love best of
We need
5.
3 to win.
That
3 to
makes it
win.
better.
Both players. I mean, it's down to a best of 3 right now, but still definitely time for adaptation. You know, both players still lots of time to develop, try and find better ways of winning. And right now, Seabass is kind of cooking with that spear. Goes for that downlight, trying to get some kind of gimp going. Baits Wubbs over to try and fake him out, try and get him to go to the other side. And does so successfully. Cider weapon throw. Not gonna find the knockout just yet. But Seabass, a nice jump recovery, and that's gonna be the stock from Wubbs already. Look at that damage differential.
gotta say, I know like it's always way too early to call it, but Seabass, even if he doesn't even play a fantastic game, he just has to close out the rest of the game solid, considering stocks were 3-2, both on a clean slate. This could be looking like Seabass in the lead in the set. I mean, yeah, 2-1. It's not winning the set right there, but still on great pace to do it. And also has completely overlapped Wubbs' second stock, still on his first, and could be looking to bring Wubbs down to first stock. You know, I always found this map Terminus to be really funny. See how far Wubbs flies and still stays alive. The walls are so far away, but yet even when they're close, sometimes all it takes is one small mistake to not be able to touch one of them and reset your jumps. Seabass is okay. I really want to see what the damage graph looks like. Usually when you see reverse 3 stocks, it's because the person who was in the lead was on red on their last stock, so it was just get the KO and then play a perfect last stock, getting 2 stocks after you get the KO. But like this still might not be KO color. Like, yeah, Casting has got some pretty nasty sigs, but like,
it's definitely not KO percent.
No.
I mean, Seabass still trying to find those options. Does get hit by that side sig. Potentially, there we go. Not enough just yet. Wubbs still trying to find their way back into this game. Ground pound on stage, possible misinput. Try to go for that down sig. Seabass trying to go for the punish on that gravity cancel delay, but Wubbs quick reaction with a nice side sig to punish. But man, when you talk about hills to climb, this is not one you talk about. You talk about mountains when you're referencing this. I mean, last stock red against almost 2 full stocks. This is not looking great here for Wubbs in game 3.
Especially since you can see Seabass is already starting to get in his head. It started a little bit last game where he was standing, or no, during the first game, Seabass was standing still and having very good breakout performances, or he has breakout moments, but not really fully committing to some of those opening hits that start certain interactions. But Wubbs is really starting to reel this back in and could be bringing stocks to even. Stocks to even still would mean the damage lead that Seabass currently has, but it's still a great start. So Wubbs is so far playing, as far as perfect last stocks go, this is starting to look pretty textbook. However, Seabass back on the board. Is this going to look every different? Maybe the spear was just a point?
Well, I mean, I think Neutralites there would, yeah, that's going to do it there. Wubbs is actually going to go down to that. I mean, they definitely started rallying right there at the end. I'm really interested in this graph now that you mentioned it. I mean, that was, it was very well played by both players, and honestly, Seabass just kind of, ran away with that game, to be honest. They kind of, dished out that damage pretty well. I mean, look at that. It's like, I think that was the same graph as earlier.
Well, yeah, no,
anyway,
was that not the same graph?
that was the same graph.
Oh no! Is there a way we could find the current graph, the one for this game, or was that the same? Or was that the actual graph for that game, and we're just going crazy?
Well, you know what? I am crazy. I'm loco.
All right.
As we see now, a dusk mirror. Is this the dawning of a new age?
I mean, listen, you said Spear is pretty good, and Spear is pretty good. Orb has been, granted, not so much very recently, but in the past few months, Orb has been a bit of a hot topic in the Twitter threads. Yeah?
You didn't get my joke.
Dawn of a new age?
The dawn of a new age?
Oh, dusk! Oh. Guys, I promise
don't even act like you got that. No, don't even.
I did dusk.
Don't
Dawn
do
of
that.
dusk.
Don't do
dusk
that to
dawn.
me. Anyway.
Alright, no.
Moving
guys,
on.
I promise I'm not stupid. I'm just smart, really slow. I am smart. It's just really, really slow. I promise I'm not.
It takes time. He has a high top speed. It's just the acceleration is. Acceleration's a little bit.
There we go.
Down.
High top speed,
Okay.
low acceleration. See, flaming gets.
Anyway. I mean, Wubbs playing a little bit of a different game here.
Oh, right.
Kind of
video
seeing
games.
a lot more. Yeah, the thing we do, graffiti for a living. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, Wubbs is playing a lot better. Seabass kind of slowed down in this dusk. Nice delights there for Wubbs, looking for this knockout. not gonna find it. Seabass gonna get back to stage with relative ease. Ground pound gonna whip there for Wubs. And, you know, trying to keep this lead, trying to maintain this damage lead, trying to play around it. Doesn't want to take too much more damage here. Wants to try and keep it alive. Side air is going to disarm Seabass. Coming back to stage, whip on the side air. Wubs struggling to find a knockout at all, but there we go, fastball recovery. And that is going to be the first stock off of Seabass.
Gotta say, we talked about how Seabass was a very versatile player. I'm surprised we haven't said the same earlier about Wubs. Wubs is also a fantastically versatile player. Is able to kind of flip flop between a lot of different weapons and characters, and still pull off some pretty nice dubs. It's currently Elite is suiting them quite nice. See, oh my goodness gracious.
This is almost like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's identical to the last game because Seabass actually got the neutralization there of the stocks, but I mean, Wubs is starting to run away with it a little bit. I mean, has quite a bit of a lead here with this Dusk. So maybe Dusk is the new meta. Maybe this is where Lord Sandstorm comes back and you know, brings the Dusk into the game. But I mean, Seabass actually starting to claw their way back here. They're winning a lot of neutral interactions, finding the proper openings, and just able to kind of get around Wubs, find these openings, and dish out the damage.
Yes, sir. The Sair sends off. Seabass was able to, like you said, even out stocks, but also within that time since has been able to even out the damage completely. Wubs was trying to fake out the ground pound, canceling on the platform. I guess just landing on the platform. That's not really a cancel. That's too fancy of a word for that. But Seabass sending up with a recovery, knocking KO as Wubs actually throws weapon down to try and find some landing space. That's actually going to give him the orb, and that's going to be a pretty nice way to bring him just one stock away from touching a game 5, but currently Seabass able to grab Spear into the Ditto. We were talking about the character Ditto, not time for the weapon. Seabass jumping around the stage, Wubs trying to throw himself into the fray. Seabass has a very nice ledge guard, but no, actually still able to continue it. Very nice.
Yeah, Wubs had no options coming back, and they couldn't get the stage touch there. So Seabass capitalized with that sider, going to set Wubs off the side with 0 options left there. And, you know, just kind of going to reset these stocks once again. But now it is damage almost identical. However, Wubs trying to go up for possibly off the top again. Not going to go for it, not going to commit too hard for it. Here we go, staying on this corner, trying to play a little bit more aggressive. Both players kind of want to maintain the center stage, but, I mean, they give it up constantly. It's, you know, it's curious, you know. What do they know that I don't? Why am I not better?
Nair after Nair.
Neutral air.
Yeah, both
Up
players
there,
actually.
up there, up there.
Both players actually trying to trade a lot of Nair.
Ooh.
Seabass, that Seabass's snare on the what? Wubs just slammed into a ground pound with a recovery, and then also waited out another ground pound. Seabass
Oh my god!
So many openings to close out this game,
goodness.
and yet Wubs is just able to overtake those corners faster. That is how you clutch out a game. Being able to outmaneuver your way out from under like 3 or 4 separate spear ground pounds, one of which almost clashing out your own recovery, trying to get back from, all just to make it to game 5. That's the commitment.
Hey,
We
so-
do love to see here on Bearded Brawl.
Hey, so Graffiti, remember earlier when I said it's gonna go to game 5? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. No, I've stopped
can I
being. I'm gonna be honest. I've stopped being surprised when you're right about things, because you kind of just
3,
always
2,
are.
1,
Using
brawl.
3.
See?
I don't know if you were there, but
I think I
had
was.
I had a
lot
bet
of-
with Space and Cap about who was going to win.
Mhm.
I think Space said Godly, Cap said Kinda, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take whatever you guys don't say. And I said, you said that you ended up winning, and I got like $20 off of it. It was really funny.
There was
But,
also just if anyone, I feel like I should tell this to anyone. When me and Flaming, we so many times we were watching a set together, he would turn to me and he would say like, this player in 4, this player in 5. He would be right almost every single time. He would guess winner and game count almost perfectly.
Yeah, that's the fun part of it. You know the players. You learn a little bit about them. You learn their play styles and see who counters who, what counters what. And I mean, right now it looks like Wubs might be countering this Olgrim pick. Kind of a little bit of a swap here. I think Seabass either plays Bryn in twos or Olgrim in twos. I can't remember which one. But regardless, Wubs struggling to get back to stage. Finally gonna touch. Gonna whiff on the neutral stick. Seabass did not go up. Now both players looking for this knockout weapon throw. Seabass still a chance. Has to play on this corner though. Gonna go opt back, opt into the axe. A nice neutral light. Not gonna be enough there for Wubs to go out. Didn't get the touch. Funny 45. The funny 45. And that's gonna be Seabass's first stock.
I love that patience from Wubs. Didn't wind up the ground pound just yet. Waited for Seabass to use all of his options. That might have also been a read. Maybe he did actually just literally count down the seconds. But Seabass does not have to count down any more time to wait for that side air to knock it out. It's currently Seabass on the actually is probably his best weapon, the axe. Opened up the Rayman pretty confidently, and also like we've been talking about, we've been singing our praises about the guy's Rayman, about the guy's Bryn. This is an experienced axe aficionado here, people. Wubs might get sent off the side right here. Oh, then just less than 30 seconds of Seabass picking up axe. And another Sayer puts Wubs on a back foot. I saw that too. Ooh, I think we all saw that. I don't think there's a single person who missed it.
Seasoning up his meal. Seasoning. I mean, hey, you know what? Personally, if I was Wubs, I would not let your food season you. But hey, that's just me though. Me personally would not take that. But again, I wouldn't take the set either. So.
Oh yeah, I would not get.
Maybe I can't say anything.
No.
I get maybe a top 8 at best. To be real.
I get maybe like
trying to find this knockout. Cider into the stage, and Seabass is gone down to their last stock. Both players in the bracket stock. This is winner's side, so they still have another chance in that lower side, but you want to enter grand finals from winner's side, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
And also, people, we have seen Wubs clutch out crazier. There was that one, I think their last game on the Cassidy, where they literally almost pulled a reverse 3-stock while Seabass was not even red on. Ooh, actually has to dump down to the weapon throw. I'm starting to yap. I'm going to start focus on the game and I guess keep yapping, but yap in a slightly different way. As Wubs' movement looking really good, able to duck under the weapon throw, able to dodge out of that one recovery. Also, yeah, no, there we go, double D-light, and also tries to go for the second one, and even though it doesn't KO, it evens out damage, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Seabass, but the end light whiffs Seabass' own end light, and the falls into the weapon throw, and now he has to waste a dodge, another recovery, and yet another one. Wubs is digging so deep for this. Seabass is also digging so much harder than we have ever seen him today.
One place hit, side air, and that's gonna be it. Wubs secures the game 5 and then wins the game 5. Oh my goodness. Wubs, wow. Okay, you know what? That does. Wow. Beautiful.
That
right at the end there. I thought it was over. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, you saw the lead Seabass had that entire time, and then slowly but surely, Wubs was able to build up that damage with the spear. That double D-light cider was, or I'm sorry, no, it was double D-light recovery, almost securing the knockout off the top. Did not fully commit to it, went back down, touch stage, regained options, and regained their footing, and was actually able to take that game. Beautifully played there by Wubs. And I mean, I can't deny this. Seabass played amazing as well, but I mean, Wubs was able to close out that game, finding that KO much faster with the sidelight cider on board.
Ooh. Yeah, no, after seeing the clutch that Wubs was able to pull off with that one Cassidy game, I did not doubt for a second that they had the ability to bring it back. And that's part of the reason that was so exciting to watch that last game 5 right there, is because knowing it was possible. It wasn't just waiting for Seabass to close it out, like he probably would have been able to do against a lot of other good players. It was knowing Wubs had that clutch, and it's just, can he pull it off? And the answer to that question is already it's there. We have already answered that question. We're going to be going down. That's also our last game in winner's bracket. That's it.
No.
Oh, I got it.
It can't be.
No, it is. Goodbye, winner's
okay.
bracket.
Well, technically we have grand finals, but that's not exactly right.
Does grand
But
finals
anyway.
count as winner's bracket? Does it?
I would say so. I would say grand finals counts as winners bracket. And
Yeah,
grand
but you
finals
only
is
have
like-
one player there in winner's bracket. But that also means that by that same logic, it's not lower
But-
bracket, and so therefore I think of it its own
Well-
separate thing. Because this
well,
is
think-
winner's
think-
finals.
think about
I
it
mean,
like
that's
this.
the final
Think-
game of winner's bracket.
Think about it like this.
Okay.
You have the winner of the winners bracket and the winner of the losers bracket.
I don't like thinking.
Therefore,
You threw too much at me. You said think about it, and I got scared.
Okay, well tell us about these players.
Oh
Tell
yeah,
us.
most definitely. So, Starno, long time. I think Starno, funny enough, just a quick little moment of the memories. I'm about to look at the window and saying when she loved me, because right now Starno I think was part of some of the first few tournaments that I actually worked on. I think it was maybe the first Galaxy Cup I worked on. Starno did really well on, and so therefore that's a player I'm not really ever forgetting. But hey, one thing they've been grinding communities just like this one, just like Galaxy Cups, for quite a while, and this is looking to maybe be yet another one of their big breaks. And like I said, we have a lot of players on a big up and come up. And I'm not gonna say like Starno's a new kid on the block. Like I said, guy's been grinding communities for like at least 2 or 3 years by now. Most likely longer than that. However, we have I just gotta double check. There we go. We have Sleeping on the other hand, someone who definitely has a few is a fan favorite, a few in chat, but also, just one more quick thing. Boulder has not really made too many rounds in communities or majors, and I feel like it's not on a lot of people's radars. So the fact that they're making it this far and also making as flashy plays as they are, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the sets that they've won on stream today have been upsets. Am I wrong?
I mean, most of the games, I think, yeah, I think you're right there. Taking Wubs to game 3, taking Wubs to game 5, almost getting a full sweep 3-0. And then losers quarterfinals, taking out Hexo in 4. Honestly, Hexo was one of my competitors for that top 3 spot, but no, we're gonna see, 2 people that, personally, I saw the names, I'm like, yeah, those can be pretty good. But I'm like, I don't think they're podium placements, but I mean, here we are. I mean, one of them is going to be guaranteed a podium. One of them is going to go home at that 4th place spot. Here we go. We're going to determine that right about.
Most certainly. There we go. There's some of the hammer clips that we saw from Sleeping a little bit earlier, starting to come back to play. Starno. I'm pretty sure Starno, if they absolutely have to, they have a Val in the pocket. So seeing the Bryn, I mean, definitely an expected pick from Starno, but there's still a part of me that really kind of wants to see the Val peek her head around the corner every once in a while. But I also really want to see Hammer back in Sleeping's hands because, oh my goodness. Actually, never mind, it's also the guitars. I was about to sing my praises about how well Sleeping is able to farm clips like it's Minecraft on the Hammer, but still, no, the guitars are at the same pace.
And you know what? Guitars, great weapon. Spear, greater weapon. Beautiful falling cider to get that knockout there onto Sleeping. Starno, like you said, one of those undisclosed veterans. Been around for a long time, has played for a long time. I mean, even going to the Mountain Dew Anthem Land in 2018. I mean, that's a feat in general. I mean, not many people knew about Brawl back then. And for them to be able to, go to lands, find these places, and, compete at such a high level, I mean, that's crazy. And honestly, the longevity of some of these players is just incredible.
Sig might have been to celebrate his stock a bit too early. Starno might have been able to punish that, but no. Sleeping is able to punish an Enlight with a recovery, and right now we have a very... Actually, I was about to say it's a slight damage lead, but I was counting the stocks wrong. What I know about numbers. Sleeping with a fantastic lead right here is able to perfectly dodge through that Sarah. That is quite some good knowledge of spacing and has a pretty good read on Starno right now.
Oh my goodness.
The recovery into this side sig, this is looking tough for Starno. Dodges to the weapon, though that might not even necessary. The weapon throw far enough away. And Sig to try and cover the weapon. Starno trying to be very careful about how he grabs the weapon now, knowing that no matter where he presses around, any signature from this Sentinel right here could put him at threat of dropping out of the game, not even bringing Sleeping down to last stock.
Wow, that's all I can say about that.
Wow, indeed. I agree.
The guitars were on point. The hammer was really well spaced, and they kind of just knocked it out of the park with that one. No pun intended. But overall, those side sig placements were beautiful. Neutral sigs were interesting, to say the least. But I mean, they had some good. Starno had some good opportunities in that game. You know, finding some good options, those side airs, and just kind of playing that spear pretty well. But I think Sleeping really did a great job with those guitars, finding those long strings, getting that high damage signatures to hit, and I think that's kind of where they came out on top here.
And most definitely. Right now, we're going into map banning. You said, I mean, we also, not only you first said, but we keep saying that spear is a good weapon. We're going to be trading the axe out for bow, and I think that's going to be a pretty smart decision. Kaya, always going to be a good character, but like also another thing to note is that a lot of the time Starno would try to land a hit on axe. And one thing comes to mind was when Starno would try to land a Sair. Boulder, I think 2 separate times, was able to time a spot dodge, get out of that Sair like almost perfectly. So Starno swapping axe but still keeping spear, pretty smart decision. And also just extra defense, not gonna hurt anybody. Like that's good. That's a good thing to have. We like high defense characters, unless you're fighting high defense characters, in which case you don't like them.
We do not like them.
In general, we like them. If you're fighting a high defense character, you don't like them, but in general we like them. It's a very complex relationship.
You know, Graffiti, respectfully, I don't think it is. I don't think it's I don't think it's that complicated.
You
anyway.
think it's simple, but in my twisted mind where nothing makes sense, it is complicated to me because I'm constantly confused. That's not confusing though. That recovery sounds.
No, neutralite into recovery with no options. Great play there by Sleeping to get rid of that first stock off of Starno. And I think the bow, like you said, is definitely working a lot better than the than that axe was. Already has a chance to even up these stocks. Hopefully pretty soon. Now it needs to get around and stop getting hit by all of these attacks. What is? I'm actually curious what's happening with Sleeping. They're kind of like doing stomp, weapon throw. I'm just kind of curious here. But these guitars coming back in. Down Sleep going to connect, but still not enough to knock out this Sentinel. Very underrated legend. Nice recovery there. Finally evens up those stocks. Now definitely a chance to you know, drop that second stock off of Sleeping this time, but Starno's gonna have to pick it up a little bit here.
D-Light and Light. Gonna build up a little bit more damage with the side sig from Sleeping. Into the recovery. Gonna take out that stock. This is the exact same situation that we saw in the last game, despite the fact that Starno is trying to throw out as many changing variables as Sleeping's way as they can. There's some of the more weapon throws that are being changed into unarmed combos, just like you talked about. But still, Sleeping a little farther out of the way. The D-Sig just barely almost doesn't catch the Sentinel. Right now, Sleeping dashing around, just somehow able to catch with that N-Sig as he reads the dodge in, but can't find the weapon throw. Sleeping tries to maybe read the jump or recovery, but can't find it. After that, Starno is able to catch a dodge of their own, grabs the sidelight N-Sig, and now this is not an exact repeat of what we had in the last game. I was about to say, Starno's throwing so many changing variables in Sleeping's way, but they're still able to make the game look almost identical and close it out just like they did last game, making it look like, hey, no matter what characters and maps you try to change, I'm always going to close out the game the same way. But no, Starno is still struggling a little bit.
I mean, yeah, they're doing much better than they did last game, I'll be honest. So finally getting that second stock off. However, Starno is still going to fall here, and they're going to go down 2-0 here. And honestly, for being on loser's side, that's not great. I mean, sure, winner's side, you're down 2-0, you have loser's bracket. You're down 2-0 in loser's bracket, what are you gonna fall back on?
Cry.
It's
I
like
would cry.
it's like leaning up against a sheet of drywall where there's no screws and there's no studs and it's just a sheet of drywall. You're leaning against a full sheet of drywall, not attached.
If I was down 0-2 in lower bracket, I would get scared and cry.
Well, Graffiti, are you talking from personal experience or are you just like
No.
Okay.
No, I don't cry at the video game.
It was just a question. It was just a question.
I don't cry at the video game. No.
No. All right. Well,
No.
it's fine because you know. Oh boy.
Oh, Flamin', we're in for a good
I'm loving
time.
that. I'm loving that. Queen Nine,
We're in for a
baby.
good time.
Yeah.
I have no reason
Love
to
me
cry
some
about
Nine.
the video game now. I mean, not like I ever would for any reason.
No,
but
no,
still.
no, you would never do that.
Okay, good. Thank you for believing me. But yeah, now is a good time.
1, brawl.
Yeah, I mean, sleeping up 2-0 here in this loser's side bout. Try and keep Starno weapon starved already. Starno's gonna keep opting in for this Kaya pick over the Brand. Honestly, good decision. Neutral Sig. Try to go for the exhausted recovery. So close for the off the top again. I do that all the time, but unfortunately, I would actually hit it. So. Anyway, another neutral Sig whiff there. Down Sig by Starno. Even damage here in game 3. Maybe a little bit of an adaptation there built by Starno. Down Sig's going to whiff. Gonna fall pretty far down. Down Sig's gonna connect. Now Sleeping on the offensive. They have a lot more defense to play around with.
Sleeping is trying to send Starno up off the top, decides to try and divert his attention. Maybe try and land just a lot of actually, that's something that I really like about Sleeping's gameplay. Sometimes they play a little stage happy. Sometimes they realize, hey, it's been 30 seconds since I've used my last signature. I should use some of them before they expire like coupons. Because, you know, you only have a certain amount of signatures per game, and they expire like coupons. So you have to use them then. That's why I exclusively use signatures, so they never expire.
I don't think that's how that works, Graffiti. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh.
Like, you're just a Sig spammer.
Oh, maybe. I wish I found
Well,
out another
anyway.
way then.
I'm sorry to tell you, but the Sig spamming is stronger.
Oh.
But anyway, back to game. This is such an issue with us. We always get sidetracked. How many people have we been yelled at for that?
We probably have. Although we probably should not risk any more of it. Sleeping, able to send him off the side with a Sair. As another DC from Starno, Bruce barely doesn't catch and risks falling out of that second stock. A Sair to cancel out a Sair. An eye for an eye. Is currently, yeah, no, just trading back and forth. Starno chooses not to trade anymore. And honestly, that might have been a smart decision because now that's going to leave Sleeping with miscalculation. Unarmed, trying to throw, thinking Starno would approach up in that sky. D-Light whiffs, able to answer back with a Dare. Sleeping, able to just barely wiggle his way around, outmaneuver him for a Sair, and there we go, using some of those coupons, but still, I think some of them actually did expire, because right now, second stock expires.
33% off getting rid of one of those stocks. I mean, honestly, great play there, getting around that down Sig, finding the perfect spot to punish. Starno getting around a D-Light neutral Sig is going to be that knockout there for Sleeping. Stocks once again even up. You know, what I've been liking a lot about Sleeping's gameplay, they're able to find those signatures from practically anywhere. I mean, doing the dash side six to stop, dropping through those platforms. I mean, that's pretty smart. I might actually start trying that out in my gameplay. But overall, very, very well-placed neutral, finding these signatures, finding good options, getting around Starno in almost every single situation. Try to go for a punish there. Not going to find it again. Throw a weapon down. Pick it right back up. Side Sig going to send. I wouldn't say knockout percentage just yet. Getting around that new side Sig. And now has on the corner. Whiffed on the down light. Not too great here. Starno getting that back with the weapon. Try to catch that fall with the grab to cancel. Down light. Down Sig does connect. Potential here for Starno to capitalize. Does not get the D-Light now with Bo on this corner guard. Down Sig doesn't connect. Neutral Light does. Neutral air. And Starno forces game 4.
Player 1 wins.
That's one thing that I really like about Starno. They have. We were talking about Wubs earlier. Wubs has a fantastic clutch. Starno's not too far behind with that. We're gonna wait and see what
Clutch
sleeping
is there.
Yeah,
Clutch gene is there.
what character sleeping is choosing to take us to, and it looks like it's gonna be Old Faithful, the character that we saw him. Let me build attention. Let me do something for dramatic effect.
Oh my
The Old Faithful that we saw him lock in earlier today and take our breaths away. It is going to be the Ganache.
The ganache, man. I love chocolate ganache. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I like it. Level 100.
And it's
Nash,
on a red velvet cake right now.
the chocolate, the dark chocolate ganache on the red velvet. That is crazy. Here we go. Game number 4. Starno was able to take out Sleeping in that game 3, or yeah, in the game 3.
Yep.
Try and live another day. However, Sleeping already taking a huge lead here with that hammer. Tons of damage build. I mean, sure, defense is really good, but when you're taking a lot of hits from high attack, I mean, is it really that useful? I mean, look at that constant pressure here on to start on recovery after recovery into recovery. Sleeping takes first stock here.
Certainly, and also that's some not too bad damage over on the Nash right there, and it's looking to build up a little bit more. The game is slowing down a little bit. Sleeping, as you can see, trying to stay in neutral a bit longer, trying to be a little bit more careful. Starno also not immediately trying to jump, maybe not being as careful as Sleeping right now, but still being a little careful on their own, as we have the Spear Ditto right here. Starno dashes back, waits out the side light for a few attacks of their own, along with Same repeating that exact same interaction for the side sig. Starno is starting to get a very nice read on a Sleeping right here, and that could be a very important step. Starno bring us a little bit closer back, but still the damage lead is in the favor of Sleeping right now, and it looks like it's gonna stay that way for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah, Starno almost getting taken out there by the unarmed recovery. Sleeping, looking for the knockout, possibly the Sarah neutral air down. I'm sorry, side sig doesn't connect. Now Starno going on the offensive here, off stage. Stomp Cider will be the nail and head coffin. And Starno down to tournament stock. If they lose this stock, it is game over. Do not pass go. Do not collect prize pool. I mean, that would suck. I'll be honest. But hey, you know, it's still possible. Though. I mean, look at the damage built onto Sleeping. It's still possible. But man, Starno is struggling. Not going to get the weapon there. They are being weapon starved so hard. Finally going to pick up that spear, and now in a little bit of an advantage state as Sleeping does not have a weapon. Are they going to go for the weapon starve? They're not. They're going to whiff the downlight. Not very good. Down sig not going to be enough. Wow. But there we go. Cider finally closes up that gap a little bit more. But man, look at the damage.
Starno, I know I said that he has the clutch, but this is against arguably Sleeping's most confident character pick, at least the most confident character that they've locked in today, and that they've really started to farm some of those clips on. So I know I like believing in Starno, but this is starting to look a little bit rough if anybody has any channel points on Kaya right now. But still, actually, if he could keep him off stage, that could be a great way to capitalize. That's unfortunate positioning, but it is Starno caught in an unfortunate position himself.
Wow.
Wow! Wow!
Wow.
You gotta say it like the guy at the end of the game, and he's like, wow!
Wow.
There we go. Although now that also
cool.
means we can't say Game 5. We just have to say, wow!
Game 4. Alright.
Yeah.
But, yeah, honestly, 2 incredible sets back to back. I know, and overall, really, really good. But,
we do more.
Graffiti, we're gonna. Graffiti, we have more. We have more.
Yay!
All right. But wait, just 1 second. All right.
Oh.
Now you might be a little mad, but we're gonna go to like a short little break real quick. Okay.
Oh.
I know. Don't cry. I'm sorry.
I said I don't cry at the
What
video
we
game.
Oh yeah, my fault.
You know what I
But we're gonna go to a short break very, very quickly. We'll be back for our losers final as well as our grand finals and potential grand finals reset. Stay tuned.
Don't go. Welcome back to Brawlhalla.
Welcome back to Brawlhalla.
Welcome
Alright.
back to Bearded Brawls. This, of course, is going to be the West Coast Brawl. We have seen quite a few, I'm gonna just throw out the word bodacious, because that's the word my brain gave me just now, but we've had a few really, really incredible sets. We've had a bunch of fantastic players come in, and I'm assuming most of those players are actually still in chat right here. So if anything, thank y'all for showing up and making today wonderful, but sadly, we've had to eliminate quite a few of those names. Out of over 200, almost 250 people that entered this tournament, there are currently only 3 left.
That's a lot less than what we started with. I'm gonna be honest, Graffiti. That's like,
yeah,
if you took the amount of players we had and then subtracted it down to 3, it's like a lot.
no, it's a lot. It's a hard number to try and grapple with. Also because sometimes I have a hard time counting to 3 anyways. So it's a very tough number to grapple with. And it also makes me a little sad because, yeah, that means
It's
we've
almost
had to
over.
eliminate a lot of people, but also that means we have the Kareem of the corrupt. We have the baddest of the baddest, the best of the best up here with us still on the podium. We got Seabass we got Seabass here, who just lost in winners finals. And is seed number 2. They're going to be fighting against the Dark Horse of Sleeping, who's been in the lower bracket for quite a while at seed. Hold on. Seed 85.
That's a number. That's not,
That is certainly a number.
We have seed 1, you have seed 2, and then seed 85. Where did seed 3 go? Where's seed 4, 5, 6, etc.? Where did all of those go? Why do we have seed 5?
I don't think we're gonna need seed 4 because I think this is gonna be a pretty explosive match either way.
Guys, I don't know how to terminate someone else's contract. How do I do that?
That was like one of my best ones.
I'll give you that one. That was pretty good. But you're on thin ice, buddy. Thin ice.
Fine.
Anyway, nice punish there by Seabass. Double D-Light down there into ground pound. Beautifully placed. Not enough to knock out. But look at this damage. Seabass with a huge lead here on Sleeping. Down's going to catch that final frame. Neutral air. Not enough to KO on this map. But another neutral air will. Seabass taking the lead early on.
A lot of pressure on Sleeping now. Sleeping is off a hammer or guitar pick, which is honestly a little strange. But hey, we've seen him play a pretty nice spear, so maybe the spear will be good. And hey, maybe it's also just for the signatures, because you gotta admit, Orion's spear and Sig, pretty nasty.
Yeah, especially they're taking out Seabass's first stock. And I think Seabass was feeling a little overconfident there. Played a little bit more risky than they really should have. And now this cannon coming out from the Seabass. Excited to see how this plays out. We've seen cannon numerous times be called, oh, it's broken, or it's too good, or they need to nerf it. Well, why?
I think people are just good at the video game.
It's just true. I think people are just better than you. That's just how it works. Not better than you. I'm talking about like better than you in general. Like you know what I'm talking about. Like better than the person complaining. There.
Yeah.
One of them.
Because the person complaining is sometimes the person not taking steps towards being as good as the people we got on screen right now. These people don't complain as much.
Oh, not at all. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, if you're Seabass, you might be complaining about losing that stock already. I mean, Sleeping taking quite a bit of a lead here. Down 6 gonna whiff. Seabass deep into falling.
Oh,
that stock off, and now it's even game once again.
Sleeping, currently, there we go, rushes back for a weapon, but Seabass, very quick reaction times, is able to time out a Silite, but not able to lead into anything to it, trying to juggle with a few nairs, out of a dodge for a little bit, but Sleeping is not able to capitalize, not only to capitalize on the quick little N-Sig that presents itself, as the N-Sig from Seabass's own cannon, not going to find any landing, steps back, trying to space out another N-Sig, but no, just runs back and lets him get weapon, or maybe trying to weapon starve, maybe that was it. We now have Sleeping with Lance in hand, we have not really seen much of this right here. We're gonna see how well this does. It looks like it's not doing too bad. He does have to throw it, but gotta say, I've seen worse.
I mean, yeah, this is looking like a really, really close game 1. And I think the determining factor is probably going to be that game 2. Who's going to get the momentum? I mean, you could take game 1 just like that off of an exhaust recovery. Beautiful job there by Seabass. But I think this set is going to come down to this game 2. Who's going to get the momentum coming from that? And who's going to be able to adapt later on, face these challenges quickly.
If you're saying it's going to come down a lot to the next game, then I gotta say that means it's most likely for Seabass to be looking pretty good, because Seabass already has some very nice momentum. Like, yeah, they were trading back and forth. That game literally could have gone towards anybody, but still, right now, by definition, since Seabass is 1-0, has the momentum, is going to be going into the next game pretty well. And if Sleeping, I think it's going to be pretty likely that Sleeping is going to completely reverse the script and be like, okay, 2-stock time. I don't think I see Sleeping pulling the same hijinks that we're usually used to seeing him against an opponent that is, if I remember correctly, seed 1. So I think even if Sleeping somehow just barely pulls this game out and has to clutch out a sudden death and has to take this to longer than 3.5 minutes, I think that's not a lot of momentum. Boulder might be struggling a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, getting hit by that little bit of an interesting opening there by Seabass.
No, that was cool.
It was definitely something, a little flashy there. Getting that D-Light, pick up the weapon throw, or I'm sorry, pick up the weapon as it's spawning into that downer, not even knowing what that happened. But look at this high aggression played by Seabass, trying to get this corner guard going. Not going to find it. Boulder is actually going to jump off the map. Seabass going to try and capitalize on that chase dodge recovery. Beautiful neutral sig. And wow, Sleeping's actually going to take the lead here. I mean, I thought Seabass, he was really, really aggro going into this game. But man, Sleeping with a beautiful capitalization there on that lift ground pound.
This might be looking like... That might just be a good representation for how the rest of the set might go, is that Seabass has most of the momentum, and then it's really up for Sleeping to respond. And then it's either Sleeping either responds well, or someone's maybe responding not as well. Although Sleeping now has a chance to respond incredibly well! Sair cancels out the recovery, ground bound into another Sair, minute in, and is able to give him a fantastic lead. Okay. I think, no, I was wrong about what I said earlier. Sleeping has a chance to completely stuff this game out and give himself some fantastic momentum. Give a huge, huge statement over to Seabass saying like, hey, no, not in my house. You're not able to completely outspeed me because I'm able to keep a pace. You gotta play a little bit more than that to, granted, get my last 2 stocks out because you just got my first stock out. But still, to beat this game out of me, you're gonna have to do a little bit more than that.
It's not really a walk in the park. It's more like a walk in an urban neighborhood, you know. You kind of combating all these different obstacles, and Seabass just kind of has to find their way through it without a GPS. You know, they're struggling a little bit here in game 2. You know, that's definitely understandable, having those two quick stocks. Especially that second one falling like that. That was very, very unfortunate. But Sleeping doing such a great job keeping this pressure, maintaining this damage onto Seabass. Another neutral air, looking for this potential knockout now. Weapon throw, trying to go for that neutral air. Not going to find it yet. Seabass still putting a lot of pressure. Nice sidesing and finally going to equalize the stocks. But man, they have to play almost perfectly if they want to even take game 2. I mean, they have game 1 under their belt already, but having 2 games up would be very, very useful.
Okay, what I said earlier about a reverse restock is now very true, because Sleeping was pretty red on their first stock when Seabass got touched down to last stock. And right now, all Seabass needed to do was find a quick KO, get like 1 or 2 good combos to get that second off out. And now, Seabass is Sleeping is having a very, very hard time finding this KO. So many Sairs miss, but all reliable. Just barely finds its way in when it matters most. So, I still might say it. I don't think that's enough momentum to run the next of the set off of. I mean, yeah,
okay,
taking a game,
I can see that. I can see it.
Yeah, taking a game is nice, but the fact that like Sleeping was able to get 2 unbelievably early stocks and was able to, one of them was a clash at yellow, I think, something like, look at how early some of those stocks are. I think if that's what it takes just to make a game even, you're not out of the woods yet. Like you said, it's not quite a walk in the park. If you need 2 early stocks like that just to have an even game, I'm still a little.
What is that gonna say? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now we also have a pretty significant change on screen.
Oh, definitely. I mean, gonna get rid of that sword. Gonna get rid of the cannon.
No.
You know, I really thought that cannon was doing really well, but no, we're gonna stop on over to the roast, the Roman Reigns, the WWE, looking for this second W of the set.
I was gonna say that was nice, but you made fun of my C4 joke, so I'm not gonna comment.
I'm sorry. It was funny though.
Okay, all right.
No, like, it was funny in a good way, but bad.
Huh?
Yeah, you figured it out. Don't worry.
I'm not able to figure that one out, Schrodinger. How is it both?
Schrodinger's joke.
It is both funny, unfunny,
simultaneously funny and unfunny at the same time. Beautiful recovery there by Seabass, and that is going to be the first stock. Now that is what momentum looked like. Seabass coming off of that last game, almost getting the reverse 3 stock. And now going to try and maintain that momentum here in game number 3 on Demon Island, looking for a chance to get back at that run back in Grand Finals.
Seabass, now that he's got a hammer instead of axe, or axe instead of hammer, trying to be a little bit more careful off stage because hammer, because of recovery alone, arguably going to be a bit of a better tool off stage. But now currently has hammer and that NSYNC slide turn and the pivot is also going to be a fantastic tool. So not only just hammer alone, but also specifically Taros' hammer is going to put you in a pretty nice spot come game 3.
Perfect angle there. I mean, Seabass knew exactly where that was going and was able to capitalize on it. Beautifully played their D-like ground cut, and now Sleeping has to try and climb back into this game. They were up 3 stocks to 1 last game, but now how the turns have unfortunately tabled for them. Seabass, this Taros pick going wild here in game 3. I mean, very, very few flaws. Got a whiff on that weapon throw, and, you know, Sleeping's going to get the KO. But, I mean, look at this. I mean, potential reverse 3 stock? Honestly, I'm going to say no. I mean, look at that. 4 hits already, orange. It's crazy. Like, what do you do? What do you do here?
How do you even table the turn? Like, how does that work?
How do you even rotate the table backwards?
Backwards?
Well, you're not turning it upside down.
Yeah.
That would just be stupid.
But it's right now it's up to Sleeping to turn this set around. Yeah. Oh, that's rough. Okay.
Wow.
That's rough.
It barely wasn't enough to kill. Expended all of the options to try and get back, and then slowly fell down into that knockout box. Seabass now has momentum. This might just be a Seabass win here. I mean, very, very strong finish there in game number 3, and now we're heading to game number 4. Look at that pick as well. You could say the set is an over Yeti. Okay, I'm done for the day. Cool. See you.
So, I really thought that we were going to see a Ganesh coming out from Sleeping, because that's what we saw them work quite a miracle with recently, but no. Turns out it's going to be the Taros Ditto. So, right now, Sleeping is going to try and challenge the Bloodline to make it to Game 5 for a shot at Grams. Or Seabass is able to get his revenge and find his way in top 2.
No, I think right now, I mean, look, Seabass still maintaining the momentum there from game 4. I'm sorry, from game 3. I mean, they finally take their first hits of damage, but I mean, look at that. Sidelight Sider, almost the first stock gone. Weapon throw trying to stop that return to stage with X pivot down and not going to find it. Now Sleeping trying to go in for a little bit. Trying to play his corner very, very cautiously. Seabass has all of the monopolies on that corner, or that downer is what's going to end that first stock, and almost looks like a repeat of last game.
Gotta say, I'm actually really happy to see Sleeping back on Hammer, because that was something that was doing them fantastically over the course of their tournament run so far. And Taros, high attack along with Axe is also going to be a really good pick. Trying to ditto Seabass, very bold pick, but still, I think the character pick on its own makes sense enough to the point. I don't think Sleeping doing this ditto. If Sleeping was fighting anybody else in this point in time, I think the guy also would have picked Taros. And right now, you can see Sleeping playing some of the same mind games, or no, Seabass playing some of the same mind games that we saw them try and trick out a little bit earlier, and trying to like fake a lot of engages, standing still a lot, and really messing with the pace of the game, only to walk in for one good hit to steal a stock. Right now, Sleeping, Seed 85, is one stock away from being eliminated and being denied a spot in Grands.
Honestly, Sleeping has to wake up at this point. I mean, I mean, Seabass almost is running away with this game. I mean, sure, I mean, it's a little bit, they have the damage advantage, but man, almost a full stock ad, nice down air, looking for this knockout. Is not able to capitalize. Seabass getting back to stage, getting that touch. And then Sleeping's got to throw away the weapon, a nice down heavy. Seabass cannot make it back, expended that dodge a little too late. Sleeping still has a chance here, but man, is it going to be rough. This axe is going to come out, and Seabass, they know this axe inside and out. They're going to find ways around it, ways through it, and they're going to capitalize on any missed punish. And man, this is not looking good. Tournament stock here for Sleeping. Oh, the Russian Mafia! Oh my goodness! Seabass calling out his friends with the Mafia, getting that final stock there from Sleeping, and that is going to be it for our losers final. Now, Graffiti, we got something nice coming up.
We do? Oh, right, we do.
What do we have coming up, Graffiti?
We have grand finals, and even more exciting than that, the fact that it's Seed 1 and Seed 2, but also the fact that Wubs is the person that eliminated Seabass out of winner's bracket, meaning this is now a revenge match. Seabass now has a second chance to, prove himself up, especially since Wubs has been on the radar for a bit longer, and even though I'm pretty sure Seabass is seeded higher in this tournament, I think I'm pretty sure you can. Wubs has also been around for a lot longer than Seabass, so we kind of have. I don't know if I'd call this really much of an underdog story, but still, you do have a new kid on the block stepping up to an old soul, and this should be quite the game to watch. So, just waiting on Wubs to hop on the lobby. Also waiting for our mods and everyone backstage to kind of get everything configured to make sure we are all ready for the last set of the day, or what might be the last set of the day.
Mysterious. Well, I mean, Graffiti,
Ooh.
since you're being all magical and so secretive, I'm going to reveal the secret. So, this is Grand Finals. The way Grand Finals works, you take the winner from winner's bracket, winner from loser's bracket, put them against each other. Boom, you're
Yes,
done.
sir.
Actually, there's more. So,
Oh, right.
the way Brawlhalla tournaments operate is off of a double elimination style bracket, which means you have to lose 2 sets in order to lose the entire tournament or be knocked out. Since Wubs has not lost a single set yet, they have the prize of, they have to lose 2 full sets in order to be eliminated. However, Seabass, the punishment for coming in from that loser side, you have to only lose 1 set, 1 best of 5 set, and then you're done. You're out. You're gone. Go home. But I mean, I think. Go ahead.
We explain the concept of a bracket reset so often, but yet one thing that I find a little funny is that we actually don't really see it too often. And I might be cursing a little bit, might be a bit of caster's curse, but the thing is, the bracket reset, it is so much. Being in lower bracket is so much more of a threat than a lot of people, I guess, sometimes fully realize, especially people who might not be avid, committed players grinding at this upper level of gameplay. That, at least from my experience of what I see, bracket resets don't happen a lot. People don't win from the lower bracket that often, and winner's bracket, it isn't a guaranteed win. You still have to play the game. But sometimes what you'll see people do, they intentionally troll and throw a little bit before the reset, and then lock in and completely stomp the reset. Like, people coming from winner's bracket know they're entering their battle to win.
That happens quite a bit. I think most recently it happened in South America, I believe, with Kaina and Use. That's new.
What's new?
I'm seeing a name change from Kaina on Star GG. That's a little weird. But anyway, besides that, so Kaina ended up losing Scotty, I believe, to Use. So I think that was actually a Grand Finals reset. If I'm actually, was it a Grand Finals reset? No, I know one of them was a reset, right? It might have been Baldur. No. I can't remember. I'm gonna be honest.
I was busy that
It's
day.
been a long day.
I was busy that day, so you would remember better.
It was one of the South American ones. I just don't remember which one.
Okay. If you don't remember, then we don't remember. I was busy.
This is true.
Yes,
Anyway. I'm excited to see, these two players go against each other. We're getting a few things fixed right now. But just bear with us. Bear with us. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm excited to see this match. The run back against each other, and yeah. So, what are your thoughts going into this? Obviously, we're seeing, for those of you that cannot see, which is probably everyone, Wubs is sticking with this Dusk pick, and Seabass is going to stick with the Taros. I want to hear your thoughts on both these picks.
So right now, usually someone with the player from lower bracket actually starts Grand. I know I said that it's pretty rare for someone to win a tournament from lower bracket, but the thing is, since you were just in lower bracket and you were in a bracket that has more games, it's much more compact, and sometimes it's a very weird situation to be in. Even though I'm bad at explaining it, Seabass has played a lot more games, especially a lot more recently than Wubs has right now. So Seabass is a lot more warmed up. Usually you see people coming from lower bracket into Grands, and they start the first game or two incredibly well. It's just that the person from winner's bracket then realizes, hey, this is my game to win. So I know I just kind of caster cursed it a little bit, but I think out of all of the tournaments to have a reset, this is not a bad candidate, because Seabass is an incredibly confident and sometimes even just a flat out bold player. The guy just goes for stuff sometimes. And also he's on some great momentum. He was able to stomp out a pretty nice set against a fan favorite underdog in this event. So gotta say, Seabass is entering with a lot of momentum, and it depends if he closes a 3-0. Wubs might still be able to take it after that, but I think how Seabass plays these first two games make or break.
Honestly, I think this is gonna, it's a bold statement. I'm gonna say Seabass in 7.
Ooh,
That's gonna be my prediction, because I think Wubs is gonna have a good initial start, but then Seabass might just overwhelm him here with the Taros pick, or even a different pick like, well, not the Olgrim obviously, but I think there's definitely other characters that Seabass can bring to this table.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the other way around. I'm thinking Seabass starts good and then Wubs adapts.
Okay, well. It's okay to be wrong. I'm saying that for both of us. I'm saying it for both of us right now. If I'm wrong, it's going to look bad. But anyway, a pretty solid start here for Wubs. Looking to get this first stock here off in Grand Finals. A whiff on the recovery that Seabass trying to capitalize.
Minute in, waiting for the first stock to be taken. Is it Wubs with a sidelight Sair, or does not Wubs with a sidelight Sair? Is it going to be Seabass with a Dare? It's not Seabass with a Dare. I'm going to call this out every time until it happens. It's not Seabass with a Dare. It is not here nor there. It is not. There we go. It is finally Seabass with a Dare.
You know what? I actually thought Wubs was going to take that first stock, honestly. I mean, he had quite a bit of a lead there in the start, and there we go. We're going to even up those stocks pretty much. I think that's right on the dot there, 0-0. So, Graffiti, how are you feeling about your pick? You want to change yet, or you're still thinking? Still thinking.
I'm still thinking a bit, because I really thought that Seabass was going to kind of jump into this with a bit more explosive energy. And start this off a lot better, but he's actually getting caught by a lot of things. He's kind of not playing the game as quickly as he was playing the last set. He's not really trying to get in Wubs' head, and is really just looking to play a solid game. And I think it's taking a bit fewer risks. I know I said that he could be a very bold player, but now we're seeing a very interesting side of the game, in the sense where this is a more, not careful or reserved, but of kind of fallback Seabass, where he's really just sticking to what works. Don't if you stretch out your arms too far, you're gonna get sore. So he's really only waiting for the winning battles to peer their head around the corner, and then taking a few good hits every now and again. Really just waiting for the game to play his lap and not trying to demand the pace, just looking to keep up. And he's doing a pretty good job of it thus far.
Yeah, you're gonna have that knockout I think overall it was very, very evenly matched. Wolves looking to equalize very, very quickly, trying to find a knockout option with no damage. Recovery barely going to miss the knockout. But man, they're like floating around trying to find one option. And I mean, Wolves, they poorly placed signature, gonna get hit for a little bit more than 30 damage. Another down light. Finally gonna find the knockout. But I mean, you can't really go hit for hit there with Terrace, especially on that axe. I mean, once you're in orange, you're in knockout percentage from that side signal. Right now, Flubs doesn't play carefully. I mean, they could have gotten taken out right there. But Seabass now starting to go in. Beautiful sideline to falling Sayer. Look at that damage built onto Wub so quickly. D-Light Sayer now trying to play on this ledge. Recovery, not going to knock out, not going to connect. Side air, still not enough. Seabass looking for this game one victory, and there it is, the gravity cancel neutral.
Player 1 win.
Whew. All right. So yeah, Seabass was able to take a very nice game, but it's not with the same explosive momentum that I was really expecting. And I know I said that like, however he's able to play the first 2 games or so is make or break. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I still might say that my prediction is still kind of going on so far, because I'm not counting just the fact that Seabass won as like, oh, I'm right, I can go to sleep peacefully. No, this game is actually going a lot different from how I thought it would. So it's also slowly getting a bit more harder and harder to predict. And one other thing that's also going to make it a little bit harder to try and guess the direction of is this fair lady we got on our screens.
We got Cassidy coming back from Wubs, playing that earlier on in black and getting that reverse 3-0, and also trying to help, helping Wubs take out Seabass there in winners finals. I think Cassidy was one of those legends that Wubs actually struggled to play into Seabass, so I'm kind of interested in why they're swapping back, but you know, maybe it's a different counter pick, maybe it's to try and play into that axe a little bit more, maybe they just want to opt in for this hammer, and we'll see. But right now, Seabass's hammer looking clean as always. Nice neutral sig there by Wubs, build a little bit more damage. Wubs is able to throw out these signatures so quickly for that because of that dex. I mean, they're able to play so well in this neutral, able to find good hits for good openings. But Seabass just needs so few more. Wubs looking for the corner guard, did not find it there. Just going to whip as well.
Same position that we were at first game in, a minute in, and neither player is able to confidently find a KO confirm. Wubs playing a little bit more reserves. Seabass actually really starting to pick up the pace as a modified Mafia. Gonna take him out off the top.
That's not even a Mafia, that's just a Hitman at that point. Oh my goodness, beautiful.
Hitman gets a hit placed on him.
Man, I've seen Kinda do that when doing like fast fall recovery into stomp side air. It's so clean, it looks so good. But Seabass a little bit more modified there, was able to find a knockout off the neutral there.
Seabass is actually starting to pick up a little bit more momentum. I thought he was going to burst out of the gates with it. I don't know if he was going to wait for the right options to present itself, and that's even considering that Wubs is still being a little bit bold. You can see a lot of these N-Sigs coming out, and just how much Wubs' movement is still looking pretty good. Wubs is trying to get Seabass's head, but it is not working. I mean, the game does work to get him down the last stock, but still any attempts to play a strong, I guess, to play a bit of a wacky mental game, we're actually more so going in Seabass's favor, because a lot of the attempts that Wubs is trying to get a read on Seabass's movement not quite coming through. And there we go, the weapon throw doesn't lead to anything, but it's still going to be a great start for Seabass to maybe open anything out. And Wubs actually also keeping the dodges very. This game is starting to slow down a little bit, actually. This is pretty fascinating.
Much more. I mean, it took a minute for the first stock, and then Seabass stock went again probably about another minute, and slowly but surely, more and more damage built on the Seabass, not able to find really any openings here on Wubs. That high dex is just able to flow around Seabass so well. Another neutral stick going to whiff there. Seabass looking for the knockout option, gonna whiff on the D-like ground, but again, big miss input. Neutral stick not gonna connect. Stomp into the recovery. In the down air. Russian Mafia coming out from another player. Wubs is going to take game 2 here in Grand Finals.
Russian Mafia is so cool. I'm so sad that it's no longer like the optimal thing to do on Hammer. I think it's so cool. We gotta bring it back. I'm really happy that these players are doing it as much as they are. I really want to see it brought back.
You know, I think if this might really just come down to who's gonna have more momentum going into the possible reset. I think Seabass definitely still has it in him, the ability to do so. But I mean, Wubs, we just saw their dramatic win there over Seabass. Yeah, but Seabass is gonna swap on over to the Dusk once again, the Nimue, if I must, and try and combat this extremely fast Cassidy.
Yes, sir, absolutely. The Dusk has been a very interesting pick as this evening has drawn on, as currently Seabass is able to deny a weapon from Wubs, but Wubs was still, actually waited a long time to starve. Wubs for some reason not able to find a hit during the time that Seabass was unarmed. Wubs stays now 30 seconds and counting unarmed, finally picks up Hammer, but the extra credit has already been done. The deed has already been committed, as right now N6 coming out. Seabass is looking for the KO while Wubs is still looking for his first few bits of like real solid damage that are not just touch-me-nots and chip damages. So right now Seabass could land a sail or a dare to even things out. No, actually tries to go for a pretty sneaky recovery. There is the faded dare and also a weapon throw just to bonk him on down. Just
for a little extra flavor.
Yeah,
you gotta
taking a
season
pretty solid stock. Not bad.
No, not at all. I mean, if they can keep this going, however, down air almost knocked out Wubs, actually almost equaling up the stocks very, very easily, and that was very, very well placed. Did not get it this time, but I mean, they're here. They're here to play. They're here to win, and Seabass being put almost into knockout percentage here. Well, probably into knockout percentage, not from neutral sig though. Side sig, not enough yet, but definitely next time. Stomps there might even knock out, but a nice neutral sig, not enough to knock out. And 5 defense from Dusk, really doing his job here. Wubs still looking for this first knockout here. Seabass still playing on that little bit more of a reserved playstyle, trying to find better openings, and there they did. Finding that D-light into side air. Both players with signatures, but a nice stomp there for Wubs to get that first knockout off of Seabass.
Able to catch a couple D-light. Under recovery out and catch up big and cannot Honestly, this stock lead actually put Seabass in a pretty nice spot, and we could be having the bracket reset look a little bit more real than it might have initially seemed from the start. Wubs trying to be very, very careful with his dodges, but still, that's after Seabass already caught you with 1 or 2 double D-lights already, dude. You gotta find something else. Your movement's been pretty good so far, but we really need to start to see that step up to some movement. And right now, Wubs is not catching Seabass on anything. Wubs tries to go for this or that, and it's still Seabass just getting the better with some of these interactions. But still, blasters in hand. We've actually not seen Wubs play a lot of blasters. This could be the switch up that Wubs needs to do a little bit more damage.
Yeah, I mean, Wubs dropping that D-light, but Seabass gonna get that side light sider knockout. And Seabass is 1 game away from resetting the bracket. I think the Dusk Beer is going to be coming back once again there for Wubs. Saying anything you can do, I can do better because I'm better than you. I think that's probably what Wubs saying, right? I'm not making that up. I think it's just going to be, overall, who's going to be able to capitalize on those openings a lot more. Seabass was reading that movement of Wubs very, very well. We're finding a lot of those good reads, double D-light side air. I mean, so much pressure off stage, and I think they do such a good job of maintaining that damage lead. I mean, it's so hard for Wubs to kind of climb back into a game when they're so far behind.
I think you definitely called one thing correct, is that we do have a Dusk mirror match. Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah. Seabass doing a great job of weapon starving, actually, as he usually does. We're starting to find a bit of a pattern with the guy's gameplay. Wubbs' spear is actually also looking very tasty as this evening has gone on. As right now both players are a little hesitant to really fully commit to something, so we're having a few nairs, a few dares. Wubbs with center stage control. Seabass rushes in though, some great pressure, but also we start to see Wubbs is pretty reluctant to commit to some of these options. So we're going to see part of the reason the game has slowed down because Wubbs wants the game to be slow. Could be a little bit of trolling, or it could just be a little bit of the mental game that oh, Wubbs can't find any reads. Maybe it's because he's diverting all his mental options into the spacing and the movement and really trying to get into Seabass's head in other ways. Currently we have the Spirit Ditto. No one's had a lead win it in. No one's even read yet. This game is going to be a little hard to watch.
I think this one's definitely going to be one of those games where it just kind of slows down for both players trying to dictate the pace, but neither of them able to find an enjoyable one. But a beautiful gravity cancel side by side there for Seabass, going to take that first stock. That was a big play. That was pretty that was pretty brave, to be honest. But a nice quick haymaker with a quick dash and like punch, and then they're gone. Seabass drops down to that second stock.
Haymaker's such a cool move.
It is just so crazy.
Still, Seabass keeping up the juggles with the orb as Wubbs is going to whip a few more attacks on the spear. Seabass, can he capitalize on the ledge guard? Wubbs actually is reading Seabass's movement all along that, or just the stare out was a misinput. Both players fighting for stage control with spear. Can Seabass get the knockout?
Exhausted recovery after exhausted recovery. I mean, Seabass is going for it. I mean, they have the health to play with it, and as I was saying, Seabass with that damage advantage, going to be very, very difficult for Wubbs to climb back in this beautiful unarmed down air. The fun move with that stock, and Seabass one stock away from resetting the bracket. So here's the thing: Wubbs technically is on bracket stock. All right, Wubbs can afford one more loss. However, beautiful neutral sig that knocked out an orange. That's crazy. Well, Wubbs can fall back on another set. However, Seabass has to get this game in order to, get a little bit of a better chance of resetting the bracket, and it's still definitely possible.
Seabass, small damage lead. Wubbs, advantage state in the game in the ledge guard, and now preventing some landing space. Seabass trying to take to the skies, maybe get an early KO, but we can start to see a few dares. Maybe that's supposed to be a delight, or maybe he was trying to read Wubbs, trying to dodge down and give up aerial space. Currently Seabass, very good job guarding the weapon, making sure that Wubbs has nothing to fall back on after throwing spear to try and close up some space. Is Seabass going to throw orb to pick up spear? Yes, he is, but Orb actually swaps back over to orb, misses the side sig, and an air is an interesting option, but it's better than nothing.
Seabass with a chance to reset. Down air does connect, and Wubbs is going to force game 5.
Player 2.
Which means my prediction is obsolete now. Thanks. I said Seabass in 7, but hey. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm fine with this. Maybe it's Wubbs in 5. He's like, yeah, don't count me out just yet. I'm still here. I'm still playing. I'm still winning. Don't worry about it. I got it. But Seabass is gonna actually swap back over to the Roman Reigns. What are your thoughts?
I could definitely see that. Okay, so I could definitely see why that could be a very confident pick, but that also means we might be getting a little bit of insight into his mental about Seabass saying, like, okay, if I'm at risk at failing, I got to make sure I swap to a character I know it's less likely that I lose on. Are we starting to see Seabass kind of falter a little bit? Are we starting to see him get a little bit worried? Does Wubbs finally have him on the back foot, and this is now the last thing that Seabass has to try before all else has already been tested?
I think it'd be really unfortunate if Seabass were to lose this after some of the trash talk they've been giving out or dishing out. But I think it's definitely still in their favor in my opinion. Such a strong legend, very, very strong player. So I think it's really going to come down to the spacing of Seabass trying not to whip as many attacks as they can, and for them to try and punish. But Wubbs with a nice catch on that dodge, trying to go for the side sig. A nice punish there by Seabass. Not a whole lot besides that sider. Nice neutral sig now even damage. However, Seabass needs one good signature to knock out Wubs. That Taros attack and the force is incredible.
Ooh, that was a pretty gross recovery right there. Minute in, Seabass already starting to pick up the pace of the game. Could be making this game 5 look so much faster than either 3 or 4 that we just saw on our screens just now. Wubs still could be in a pretty good spot to try and just close the whole darn thing out right here, right now. CS trying to throw out a bunch of sidelights, make anything work. Somehow grabs that hammer back up, despite the fact it spent the whole 2 seconds on the ground. Spear ground pound cancels out a recovery, and Wubs is also able to outmaneuver an enemy recovery to then get that daylight ground pound. Yes.
And damage pretty equal. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, here's the thing though. With Seabass, you get 3 good hits, and then maybe you're in the lead. But I'm liking this orb edge guard here from Wubs. You know, getting a few quick hits, side air into neutral, into side air. I mean, they played that really well. Getting a bunch of good damage there onto Seabass. Very needed here, especially in Game 5 against this Taros. Nice side air. Seabass now with a big amount of pressure on the stage. Wubs gonna throw away that weapon, trying to play a little bit more into that spear, but no, it's actually gonna pick up that orb once again and almost getting that Mafia.
Seabass, you can see just how scrappy and hungry he is. 40-second stock, trying to dodge into anything, get as many chase dodges as he can to keep the movement up, trying to fish for any deal that he can, but Wubs was smart to dash in and punish that dodge right there to get that little nair juggle combo. Seabass whiffs the nair, lets Wubs respond with a Sair. Well, it doesn't read the recovery high though. Seabass recovers low, and now Wubs without a weapon has to run back to the stage to pick up spear, give Seabass the space he needs, hit a daylight Sair. Currently just a few minutes of gameplay away from a reset. That is, unless Wubs is able to get a quick KO right here, make this Grands look a lot more shorter than it could be, or at least shorter than Seabass wants it to be.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we are dead even, right? Wubs, 1 game away, or 1 stock away from winning the tournament. Seabass, 1 stock away from resetting the bracket. Both players need this last stock for something. Seabass to stay alive, Wubs to win. I mean, it's not looking great really for either option. Neutral 6 going to whiff, down outside or whiff on the punish. I mean, this is kind of back and forth right now. I mean, whoever takes it, I mean, they get a huge advantage. I mean, regardless of what it is. And look at this damage here being built both on into Wubs and Seabass. These side airs coming out from Wubs. He's playing so well into this hammer. Seabass unable to find almost any option. Recovery, another whiff. Seabass potentially into that KO percentage now. Nope, side sig not going to be enough. Wubs looking for it. Recovery's going to whiff. The players so close. Side are not going to be enough. Can Wubs close it out here? Sidelight, Sair, and that is it. Wubs denies the reset. And the Wubs is going to take the Bearded Brawls West Coast Brawls Tournament. GG, well played.
Most definitely. After a very tough Game 5, Wubs able to prove why he's been able to be at this spot in power for so long. We talked about him, a bit of an old soul when it comes to Brawlhalla, and also just generally how he's able to keep that spot for long enough of a time. And show, actually, Flaming, if you remember, or if we can get word from production, a little bit of the prize pool, just so we can really kind of,
That's 500.
Huh?
That's 500.
That's, wow. That's actually more than I was expecting.
Bro, it's Bearded Brawls. What do you expect, you know?
Damn, okay.
You gotta do it. And we kind of look like yin and yang, where you're surrounded by the white background, and I'm just like in pitch black. It's funny.
Yin
Yang. But anyway, but that's gonna be it for today's tournament. Honestly, went really well for us. We have some insane matches. We had a game 5, we had a game 4, we had a game 4, then we had another Game 5. So overall, really amazing from all players involved in our top 4, as well as all of our players in top 8 that we saw on stream earlier. And yeah, congratulations once again to Wubs for becoming the best West player for now. We'll have to see. I don't know what's coming up yet for really any region just yet, but yeah, as you can see, the matches there.
Up next, we'll be going to TBD versus TBD.
Oh my god, dude, that guy's in every tournament, man. He's in every single tournament. But make sure you guys are signed up for Spring Championships, the doubles, and yeah, I mean that's gonna be a fun tournament. Make sure you sign up for CEO. Also a huge tournament, I believe $100,000 prize pool for that. So that's a lot of cash. And I think you also get like a really cool championship belt too, which actually looks really sick.
Okay,
but
really cool.
that if that isn't enough for you to want to go, I don't know what is. But that's gonna be it for me. Graffiti
too. Go even just for the experience. Sometimes when I go to BCX, I think both years that I went, I didn't play singles. I think I either played just doubles both years, or one year I didn't play at all. I was there just for the experience. Literally just happy to be here. I'm pretty sure that is a title in the game, and I don't know how I don't have it yet. That or I'm going crazy. But I was literally just happy to be there and kind of be surrounded by the community that I love so much. So even if you're not playing, just go for the experience. It's fantastic. And so thank you so much to BMG for being able to create such an incredible series of events for us, such a great lineup, along with foster this whole family we got here. And then also, really quick, I'm going to extend that thank you to everyone who played in the event. Like I said, we had quite a few people playing. We had almost 250 people. And thank you to everyone who checked in, played their matches, try to make life a little bit more easier on the mods. And thank you so much for making this event the monument that it was. Make sure to follow me and Flaming on social media. We are very, very, very pretty and funny people. You will want to pay attention to us. Flaming, I'm going to let you close this out if there's any last few words you want to say.
I do actually want to say one more thing. I know I don't think we said it at all this entire time. Thank you to BMG for sponsoring this. Thank you. Okay.
Yay!
But that's going to be it for us. I hope you guys enjoyed this entire stream. If you are watching that top 8, I hope you enjoyed that. If you're watching our top 4 with me and Graffiti, I hope you enjoyed as well. But that's going to be it from us here at Bearded Brawls. So make sure you sign up for some more tournaments, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one, guys.
What about dreaming? Places you've never